46townhall.com.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican world radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Wednesday, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hope you're having a good one.
Welcome to Halfway Day.
Yeah. They keep moving. Like yesterday, I was like, hey, we're going to have a fire weather watch tomorrow and all that. Now we come in today, and all of it's tomorrow again.
Right.
Still...
Keep pushing back the inevitable.
Like, there's no watches or whatever's today. But now tomorrow it's red flag and fire weather watch.
I like to think that it's like pushing, like if you ever like had a water balloon or like a stress ball and you squeeze all of the stuff into one end.
Yeah.
That's kind of what we're doing. We're like, it's fire weather tomorrow, fire weather tomorrow, fire weather tomorrow. And once it actually hits, oh, it's going to be bad.
Well, I saw like a meteorological explanation of the weather. Like yesterday, if you know, like almost the whole state was under a red flag warning.
Yep.
Except southeast New Mexico. And
Fine.
Well, I found out the reason why we were.
Oh.
Not as opposed to everybody else.
Okay.
And apparently, so there was two pressure fronts. Check this out. And
watch Captain Science work. All right, hit me, Mr. Wizard. What you got?
Check this out. So they had a dry front moving in from the west up north. Okay, up north, and it was coming blowing east.
So it's sweeping this way eastbound.
Eastbound through the state.
Okay.
Well, coming up from the Gulf is also another front, and it's that wind front's got more moisture in it from the Gulf Stream.
Sure.
So in essence, it was pushing some moisture, humidity into our area. So
I noticed it was weirdly humid yesterday.
So it was actually dropping the fire danger because of that Gulf Stream front coming through from the south. It was mixing right here.
See,
and that's why they were saying there was a potential for a thunderstorm or two last night because we were right where those two areas were mixing. And so...
who said the Gulf of Mexico never did nothing for you?
It gave us a red flag warning free day yesterday.
Yeah, I was like, I was sitting in my car, and I was like sweating. I was like, it was weirdly moist.
It's because you
yesterday.
just pulled over by a cop. No,
it was that. Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
Speaking of yesterday, how's the patient doing this morning? For those that did not know, Sean's
newest cat.
Yeah, newest cat. I was going to say
baby
frivolous cat or
free sprayer
playboy, if you will.
Yeah. Basically, he was wandering around my house like a 13-year-old boy.
Yeah. Well, he got neutered yesterday.
Yes, he did.
So how did the neutering go?
Neutering went well.
Yeah.
He was tender yesterday when I picked him up.
I imagine.
It was kind of interesting to watch him like try to like walk around and then try to jump up onto things because like I have their food dishes kind of elevated a little bit off the floor. So to watch him kind of get up there was like it was kind of like watching a 60-year-old man try to do anything. It was entertaining. But he's doing good. Spirits are high. I was told to keep him by himself for the rest of last night, like away from Stefan, away from the other cat.
Sure.
That didn't work out so well.
No.
As soon as I put him in the room that I wanted him to be in, because I actually put him in my room with the comfortable bed, the air conditioning, the accoutrement with his water and stuff. As soon as I opened the door, he bolted out.
No, really? He wanted nothing to do with that.
No,
huh?
he wanted to be social. So had the kids over last night for a brief.
Were they gentle?
They were gentle. I warned them beforehand. I said, please do not torture my cat. Because Hunter's favorite pastime is to throw things either towards the cat or at the cat to watch the reaction.
Yeah, you might want to work with him on it.
Yeah, no, it's discouraged.
But cat good.
Yeah,
Everybody's healthy.
Cat's good. Cat's happy. Things are good.
Good. Well,
Now
that's good news.
Now it's wandering through the house to figure out what he's sprayed and throw that stuff out, burn it, whatever.
Well, yeah, good news is there shouldn't be any additional
Yeah.
spots.
I actually feel comfortable leaving my bedroom door open,
Okay.
which is it makes a difference in my house because of where the air conditioners are.
I got you. It circulates the air better.
When you live in a tin can, it makes all the difference in the world coming home at the end of the day. You're like, oh my God, it's like 90 degrees in here versus, oh, I can live in here. Okay.
Good. Good. Well, it seems like the planets are aligning back the way they should.
Things getting back to where they should be.
Good. Glad to hear. Well, let me see what else. Oh, you know what else? Hey, John. We'll talk to him in a minute. I'm kind of excited about this. I don't know why. It's stupid and simple. But the Batman is on HBO Max now, and so I'm gonna I haven't watched it, but I'm just gotta find a block where I can sit down and spend 2 hours to watch this thing.
You know why it's exciting for you and me is because we grew up in the time when it was like, well, I'll watch that when it comes out on video.
Yeah.
And when it comes out on video is like 6 to 8 months after the fact.
And not a couple of weeks.
When like everybody has lost interest in the thing.
Yeah.
Now, thanks to HBO Max streaming services, we get it pretty quick when it's still kind of like a hot topic of conversation. People are actually still paying attention to it.
Yeah.
It's sort of put like a damper on the whole, because back in the day, you could always expect that a movie would be big when it first came out, and then 6 months later, it would be big again when it would have its home video release.
Yeah.
It sort of like puts a damper on that, but at least we're still able to be part of the zeitgeist.
But you know what's weird is like my whole mindset about movies has changed, and it's really COVID that did this. And even now, not that I'm scared of COVID or any of that stuff, but I ain't gonna lie, I'm like, I'd rather sit home and watch this movie rather than go to a movie theater, sit down and see the movie. Now, I would say this: if theaters, all theaters went the way of what some theaters are doing, then I would be maybe back on board. And what that is the Alamo Cinema Draft House style of theater. If you make it where you can get an adult beverage and a meal, not just popcorn, but maybe some chicken tenders or a burger or something while you're watching, say, Batman. I would be in on that. I would think that would be fun.
It adds something to the experience. It's not just going out to stare at a thing for 90 minutes. It's going out and having an experience and also watching a movie.
Because quite frankly, the rest of it I have at home. Granted, I don't have a 100-inch or 100-mile screen. I have a good-sized screen.
Sure.
I got a recliner. I got a refrigerator full of food that I picked. You know what I mean? And I'm like, and I don't have people that are annoying me by talking or whispering or chewing loudly or all the things that happen.
Nor are you required to wear pants.
Or exactly, I can go pantsless.
Yeah.
And I like all of those things, including the pantsless.
Me too, except for it's frowned upon. Out in public.
But I'm not gonna lie. There's like I went and I've seen one movie in a theater since COVID. And
I did too, and I was just trying to think of what it was.
Mine was Ghostbusters.
What was the one I
movie.
went? I literally can't remember the movie I went and watched, but I did watch a movie post COVID.
Yeah.
I have been back to the theater since COVID. I cannot.
And it was
remember what
fine. I had a great time. Everything. I don't know. There's a part of my brain's like, nah. I love when HBO Max premieres the movie the same time.
I will say this though.
Does.
There's not a single seat in my house that is as comfortable as theater seats now. Not a single one. Now, granted, I have crap furniture, but
no, I got my chair.
Yeah, I'm sure you.
I got my Glenn's furniture.
Normal people do.
I got comfortable.
I still have the couch that I lived on when I was going through my divorce. So yeah, you do the math.
I get you.
So there's not a seat in my house that's as comfortable as those reclining mechanical theater chairs. That being said, if I'm that level of comfortable, I'm probably going to pass out.
I'm not going to lie. Since they put the nice chairs in the theater, there's been one or two instances where I've sat in there and I'm like, I better unrecline or I'm going to start snoring. Yeah, if that movie isn't great and it's just
Spider-Man.
okay.
Spider-Man?
Spider-Man.
It was the Spider-Man. Yeah, it was the most recent Spider-Man.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw in the theaters. I was trying to think. I was like, I know I've been back to the theater since
I haven't seen that
COVID.
one yet. I think it's getting ready to come out on
It should be, Disney Plus.
Demand or Disney Plus, wherever it's going to show up at.
Well, here's the thing. The big reveal, the big spoiler was like,
There's all the Spider-Man.
yeah, it was
and all the bad guys.
blown like a week after the fact because everybody wanted to talk about it. But yeah, that's
Well, it's kind of hard when you got Tobey Maguire and the other Spider-Man, whatever his name is.
Andrew Garfield. It was pointed out to me though after the fact that and I didn't realize this when I was watching it. Tobey Maguire really, really does not look like he wants to be there. Like the whole time, he's just like clearly doing it for the paycheck.
Well, maybe it is. I mean, what's the last Tobey Maguire joint you see?
He pretty much was retired. I'm sure he came out of retirement for this movie.
Retirement? Okay.
Yeah,
I don't want to be...
He's still kicking on that Spider-Man and Seabiscuit money.
Yeah, I was going to say retired. Is that a term where he chose or someone else chose for him?
I think I don't know anything he's actually been in recently. I think he actually literally like backed out from Hollywood and was like, I'm just going to focus on life for a while.
Yeah, maybe. Well, good for him if that's what he did. I don't know. Anyway, let me give the rundown of the show. Otherwise, we'll be Spider-Man in and up for 3 hours. John from Oasis Computer is going to join us here in just a few minutes, give an update on what's going on there, talk some tech with John. In the 8 o'clock hour, about 8:15, Andrew Moore with the Roswell Chamber of Commerce will join us, give us an update on what's happening out at the Chamber, talk about upcoming events, what have you. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, about 9:15, April is Occupational Therapy Month. And so we're going to have Rocky Rodriguez with Loveless Regional Hospital join us and talk occupational therapy with us. So
very good.
What they offer, services, what does occupational therapy mean? We'll ponder that and more.
Therapy
in the 9
for the
o'clock
workplace. Do you hate your coworkers? Need to vent? Occupational therapy.
There you go.
It's not that. It's not.
It's not. I mean, maybe. No, it's not. No. So we'll talk with Rocky here in the 9 o'clock hour. Plus, we'll have all of your features that include the news of the local and national variety, along with all your features and whatever else we can come up with for today's show.
Indeed.
Before we do any of that, let's talk weather. I shot all my weather knowledge earlier, so the rest is up to the experts.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Gusty wind, sunshine, and very warm temperatures today will end up in the low to mid 90s by this afternoon. Overnight, low 50s and clear, and then we're looking at low to mid 90s again on Thursday with sunshine, a little bit breezy in the afternoon. Friday, mostly sunny and getting very gusty, wind at about 40 miles an hour, mid 90s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 61 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 15%. Pretty low. Winds are calm at the moment. For today, mostly sunny, 94 for a high, so it's going to be hot. Winds will be out of the southwest, 10 to 15 this morning, and then increase in 15 to 20 later today. Tonight, mostly clear with an overnight low of 54 degrees. Winds will be out of the west, 15 to 20. They'll drop down 5 to 10 after midnight. And then tomorrow, Thursday, we've got a fire weather watch from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., a red flag warning from 8 a.m. to midnight tomorrow. Sunny, high of 94 once again. Winds will be out of the south 5 to 10, and then increase in 15 to 20. Why the red flag warnings tomorrow and not today, even though the weather looks very similar? I believe it's, again, back to that Gulf Stream I was talking about, some of the moisture in the air lingering from yesterday. I guess it'll all dissipate by tomorrow. For you Friday, we're looking at a windy day. Areas of blowing dust for the afternoon. Sunny and 93 with south winds 15 to 25. Increase in 25 to 35. Could see wind gusts as high as 50 miles per hour on Friday. Friday night's going to be windy as well. Partly cloudy, overnight low of 53. And then cooling down for your weekend. Still nice, but compared to the 90s, not there. Sunny and 82 on Saturday. Winds will remain breezy. And then we're back down in the upper 70s on Sunday, so sunny and 77. So just think about that. Today being Wednesday, 94 will be in the 70s by Sunday. So a 20-degree flux there. It just doesn't look so drastic when it goes from 90 to 70 as opposed to, say, 50 to 30. Big difference there. All right, it is 7:19. We're going to take a 3-minute break. Actually, we're going to get you your livestock report recap. Since we had the Easter weekend, they did the livestock on Tuesday instead of Monday. So here's the recap, and then quick break, and then John from Oasis Computers will join us here on the other side of the break. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Good morning, this is Smiley Wooten at the Roswell Livestock Auction. 445 head of cattle sold on Tuesday following Easter Sunday on a lower market with very limited receipts. 3 to 40 pound steers 188, 193, 3 to 40 pound heifers 162, 165, 4 to 500 pound steers 179, 188, 4 to 500 pound heifers 157, 162, 5 to 600 pound steers 150, 179, 5 to 600 pound heifers 149, 157, 6 700 pound steers 140, 150, 6 700 pound heifers 133, 149, 7 to 800 pound steers 134, 140, 7 to 800 pound heifers 126, 133, packer cows 80 to 86 and a half, canner and cutter cows 65 to 75, packer bulls 90 to 94, feeder bulls 80 to 83. The cow-calf pairs and bred cows not well tested this week. Expecting a nice run for next Monday, and we appreciate the business. This is Smiley Wooten, Roswell Livestock Auction.
When you think of home health care here in Roswell, what's the first thing that pops into your head? That's right, Frontier Medical. We've been doing it better than anyone else for over 20 years. From in-home nursing to physical therapy and so much more. Doctors and hospitals from Albuquerque to Lubbock and everywhere in between have been trusting their patients to us here at Frontier Medical. So when it's time to make a choice, remember Frontier Medical. 575-627-1112. Frontier Medical. To remember.
Roswell is our home. That's why we've all got to do our part to stop illegal dumping. Throwing your trash, clutter, or yard debris in the alleys, sidewalks, or streets is a crime, and it takes time and money to clean it up. Those caught dumping illegally can face fines of up to $500. You can help by taking your waste to the landfill once a month for free with a paid water bill. Call the City of Roswell Solid Waste Department for more information at 575-624-6746. Help keep Roswell clean. After all, do you want your kids to grow up in a dump?
Hey CVE members, have you scheduled your no-cost home energy audit? If not, we're getting close to summer and hotter weather. It's time to sign up. Call 575-746-3571 to get your name on the list for a free home energy audit. Weather stripping, new door sweeps, minor repairs, and much more. Start saving money and keep that purchased air in your home. Central Valley Electric Cooperative is happy to partner with Green Metal Energy for this valuable audit. Again, 575-746-3571.
The Pecos Valley Artesian Conservancy District is looking for a qualified field technician to join their team. The PVACD conserves the waters of the Roswell Artesian Basin with lands located in both Chavez and Eddy counties. Please visit their website at pvacd.com for requirements and job qualifications or for more information on this great career opportunity. Resumes can be submitted at the PVACD office located at 2303 East 2nd Street in Roswell. The Pecos Valley Artesian Conservancy District is an equal opportunity employer.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The ball on top of a flagpole is called a truck. Mess with your friends today by pointing at a flagpole and say, "Hey, check out the truck on top of that flagpole." Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 23 minutes after 7 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, John's back from Oasis Computers. Good morning, John.
Good morning. How is everybody?
Doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing good.
Good. For folks not familiar, John comes by once a month from Oasis Computers, and we talk technology, talk obviously about Oasis Computers, and folks, especially in the world of COVID, if you're needing computer help, trying to make computers last longer, or looking for alternatives to just, shelling out a bunch of money for some of this technology, John might be a guy you want to bend his ear a little bit and find out either, if the path you're going is the right way, or maybe he can offer a different option, or maybe put you onto something that you've never heard of before. So
if you're stuck, lost your password, can't make it work, I can help.
There you go. Absolutely.
Passwords are difficult sometimes.
Well, that's the one, because we all and I wonder if it's a generational thing where older folks like ourselves, or they may have it where younger folks are more password.
I think it's how the brain works.
Okay.
I just had to go through September's mom passed away.
I'm sorry to hear that.
But he was just about 80, so it's expected somewhat. But anyway, you got to deal with the stuff, and it was a mess. I'm so busy with her because she's handicapped herself.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, we had to deal with some passwords. So first of all, I had to get September going again. She wanted to pay the bills on the computer, and she hasn't really used the computer since she got the stroke.
Okay.
So the accounts and everything are still active and still doing, but now we got to find passwords, log in. Now we're dealing with 2 or 3 different accounts and users and whatever, and I got myself, 4 different users for different purposes.
Sure.
And I started realizing that people that forget the passwords are not idiots. It's the brain that doesn't work as we expect it to.
Sure.
You put a password manager on it, you forget your passwords.
Yeah.
I mean, in my case, a week, and I couldn't remember them once they were in that safe password manager.
Yeah.
I set up this week a couple of customers type in the password. One had an @ sign that was replacing the A. And guess what I did? I typed in, I don't know what the word was anymore, Apple, for instance. So I typed the @ sign, an A, and then PPLE. And it didn't work. And I asked the lady, said, can you type it in? She types it in, it works fine. It's like, that's what I typed in. So I typed it in again when we had to reboot, and I type in the @ sign, A, PPLE, and it's like, something doesn't feel right here. I looked at it again. What are you typing? It's @ sign PPO. Wait a minute. @ sign PPLE. I automatic brain added an A to it, and I typed it in.
Oh, you were just not. Yeah.
You didn't even quite get it.
Yeah.
I said @ sign A PPLE. No, it's @ sign PPLE.
Gotcha.
Things like that. I keep seeing more and more of that, and that's why you forget. And what I really learned this weekend when we tried to pay those bills that need to be paid, you type in a password you know is good and it doesn't work. Now you're off balance.
Right, because you're like, well, did I change it?
So you
sometime?
type it in again, and if you make a mistake typing or your keyboard is on caps lock or whatever, you get really confused in a hurry.
Yeah.
And then another customer that came in last week, she came in, we logged into a bank account of some kind, no problem. She pointed out what the password was, whatever we done. 20 minutes worth of work, and then we had to go check back in the bank account. And I said, what's the password here? And the answer was, I don't know. I said, 20 minutes ago we did this. Where did you find it? You had it on your piece of paper here somewhere. Which piece of paper was it on? Looked through it, dug it up somewhat, and it's like, no. Oh, this is it, she said. Look at the paper, and it's like, don't look right, but we've tried it, didn't go in. Oh, God, she says, there we go again. See, now I need to reset it again. No, wait a minute.
Yeah.
20 minutes ago we were in.
Sure.
You're doing something wrong. So she had another piece of paper and said, oh, no, this one is it. And then we got back in. But you can see how you get confused in the brain, and then it doesn't work. And then you try to reset it. And when you reset it, nobody writes it down and says, oh, my God, I got it. And then, you're going to go the same thing again.
Sure.
And don't ever lose your phone number. So many things are now signed in where you get a message to the phone number.
Yeah.
I've had at least 5 people in there that have sold their phone, bought another one, whatever. The phone went bad, and they decided to get a new phone number. And then they lose their Apple account, and Apple said, well, send it to your phone.
Yeah.
Well, the phone number is gone. They don't have it no more.
Yeah. We've had that issue once or twice in years past with email addresses. Where, same kind of deal where... we switched like internet providers or something, so we ended up getting a new email address. But some of our login credentials for some other stuff was on the old, and we're like, oh, we got to reset the password. Oh, but we don't have that email anymore. We don't stop sending it to that email. We need a new email. How do we? We've had to navigate. We had to get on
into the old email, and then you can change. But I can't log into the old email.
Yeah, we had that. We've had that problem in the past too.
So my advice is to meticulously write it down so you can read it 10 years from now.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that we see on passwords again is, what's your dog's favorite name or what's your favorite pet or whatever. It seems like most people do not know what they answered that 3, 4, 5 years ago.
Yeah.
What is your favorite pet's name? Oh, Fluffy.
Yeah.
Doesn't work. Well, it's always been like that. So things change in that department somewhere.
That particular question has never been a problem for me, and that's because of my life, not because everybody else's. And the only reason because of that is if I use "What's your favorite pet," it's kind of been a family tradition my whole life that we've named dogs Sissy. So I've had, like when I was growing up, a dog Sissy. My dad had a dog Sissy. My uncle. Right. I've had dogs. So Sissy's always the answer to that question. So I never, as long as I spell it right, I'm okay.
Well, you can also get some standard answers that have nothing to do with what is your dog's name?
Yeah.
Town. And you always use town.
Yeah.
And then you have several questions. So on the first, I answered town. On the second one, I answer city. And on the third one, I answer country.
Yeah.
What's your cousin's name? Country.
Yeah.
Or something like. You could do it that way.
Sure. You just got to remember you did it that way.
But, it used to be, God, what an idiot. Can't remember even the password. It don't work. We need to do something different. I don't know what it is, but this is not working.
Yeah. And then, of course, you have and this is something you've said several times, is, of course, software computers, and they've all made it easier to log into with either the Face IDs or thumbprints or other alternate methods of logging into something. But every single one of those methods still require a password to get in, and whatever face recognition you set up was based off of that password.
Yeah.
So if you ever have to actually need that password because your face thing ain't working or your thumb thing ain't working, that's
Let me tell you the
answers
answers on that one. What is your password? Oh, I need to put my finger on the fingerprint reader.
Yeah.
Okay, but there's a password with it. No, I always use fingerprint. I don't have password. It does it by the fingerprint.
Yeah.
People do not realize that there is a password attached to it, like you just said.
Yeah.
It's really...
Whenever you initially set all that up, you put a password
There's two things. It's misunderstood what it does. Three things. People mix up accounts. They can distinguish if they go to the bank and then to the email and then to the other email or whatever. They mix them up somehow. I don't know what it is, but it's too confusing. And then the last thing is it takes too long. Once you got it set up, and it works. So you do it with your fingerprint reader or your face recognition, whatever, and you get to it for 2-3 years, whatever, and then something goes wrong or the company changes something. You have to do it different, and that's where you get into problem because you have forgotten what the original things
You've
were.
been using your face or thumb for the whole time.
Make sure you have some kind of a booklet that where you write it in once you get done, write it on scrap paper.
Yeah.
Once you got it figured out, write it in, because everybody brings, you have some paper laying, like a piece of paper there.
Yeah, here's a notepad.
Yeah, well, they write it on here.
Yeah.
And then they get all mixed up, scratched out, whatever, and then go on the back side. And it's not always a nice notepad paper. It could be a receipt from a store.
I don't know how many friends I remember seeing, and they'd have the Post-it notes stuck all to the monitor of their computer, and it's all like 50,000 passwords of different things. You're like, how do you know which one's the which? I've seen several people like that. That's probably not the best. I mean, unless but as soon as the sticky wears off and it falls off and ends in a crevice in the thing, there it's probably not the most secure way to be doing that kind of stuff.
Well, that's what I said. A notebook, booklet, little thing, and use one page per company. Put it on there, and then you can make updates in there and know where that booklet is, and you can get back to it.
Yeah, and if you're a tech person and don't maybe do the notepad thing, but maybe if you do your smartphones, take a picture of all your passwords and put them in the cloud or something, someplace that you can access it from multiple areas, and that might use it as a secondary or something like that if you want to go digital, and then have a notebook that you keep in a safe place.
We have
whatever it is.
some little notebooks that we ordered in. We ordered like 700 of them.
Yeah.
And anybody has problem with password, I try to explain how the best way to do it is, and we give the little notebook away for people that have problem with it.
Okay.
And a certain amount of people don't want to take it. So I know what I do.
Yeah.
But you came in because the password was lost.
The very reason why you're here is because you didn't do this.
Right.
And, some people are more
and
stubborn
then people
others.
claim, I know this is the correct password, and it says it's changed it. Not sure on that until yesterday. Yesterday I decided to listen to XM radio that that I can get on an app and in a computer. And it's like, well, I haven't listened to this for a while. Let me do this. So I started a computer up that I got for that. Got one especially sit in the corner.
Your podcast
I couldn't get in. It didn't let me in with the PIN number. And I had made the PIN on all the machines the same. But the last time I used that XM machine was last year.
Okay.
And in the meantime, this is what happens too. You need to make a change for whatever reason, because the company tells you need to make a change or
time to update this
whatever
or
the reason is. And then you update one computer. So I got 4 computers. They all log in with the same PIN, and the main ones get changed. And then the other one that you don't play the music on for 3-4 months, when you get back to it, you go, okay, it's the same password as all the other ones. Then you try to type the old one in that you know could have used. Doesn't work. I couldn't get in. I had to reset it.
Oh, wow.
Thank God I goes to Microsoft, and I knew the password. Password was fine. But PIN, I had to reset it. It didn't let me in. So I don't know if the PIN got compromised somehow or changed or whatever, but I find it hard to believe.
In the updates,
These machines remember those passwords and PINs a heck of a lot better than we do.
Yeah, that's kind of what, they
Right.
do. But then again, if something happened in the software or the update there where it corrupted something, it could have easily just...
It does corrupt.
Yeah.
We do find instances where the file that keeps the passwords, whatever, is corrupt. That can be reset sometimes, and sometimes we can't. We just can't get in.
Gotcha.
Then I'm not sure understand what the purpose of the PIN exactly is. I thought it was make it easier, but you can use a PIN, make it the same as your password. What I have done, Microsoft forced me to make a PIN on my main computer.
Gotcha.
I couldn't get away from it. So I made one and deleted it off, and then when you reboot, it says you need to make a PIN. And you delete it again, and you need to make a PIN. So finally I said, well, I use the PIN that I use for most things. And it's like, that's aggravating, because now I'm going to forget the password. And I don't like this, So a guy comes in, and he says the PIN. So in my mind, the PIN was 1, 2, 3, 4 or something like that. This guy says the PIN is capital A, exclamation mark, BC 2499, whatever, something like that. And I go, sir, that's not a PIN, that's the password. He said, no, that's the PIN. It's like, well, I don't think that is the PIN. Oh, okay, fine. Why don't I just try it?
See what happens.
I'm gonna see that it doesn't work. Typed it in, works fine, and I go, what? What?
How'd you do that?
Yeah, exactly. Well, it turns out if you look a little closer, there's a check mark you can put in. Use letters and characters.
Allow
also.
characters. Okay.
Right. So if you check that, you can actually make the PIN and password the same.
Nice. So that way, at least it's consistent
Now,
across.
having multiple computers and multiple settings and whatever, the PIN belongs with the computer. The password belongs with the account. So if you talk about Microsoft account, you can log in with your Microsoft account. There's a password. You can use that on any machine to log in with the password. Works everywhere.
So that's why the PIN's in there to protect 2 different things. One's the actual hardware, the other's your...
Yes, I didn't realize that for a while, but...
That makes sense.
It was obvious because I got a message and I wasn't sure it was fake or not. But let me just change my password. So I just added an exclamation mark. And I did that on my main computer for the PIN. And I expected it to change everywhere. If I would have changed the password, it would have reflected over all the computers because it's the account password. The PIN, though, is for the machine.
Yeah.
So, of course, I go to the next machine, I log in, it didn't let me in.
You're like, wait, what?
I tried 3 times, and I go, I know I changed. Wait a minute. Maybe I should use the old one.
Yeah.
So the old one let me in on the other computer. So that's where I realized the PIN is for the computer. The password is for the account.
Well, that makes sense. That makes perfect. And it also now it legitimizes the use for the PIN and making sense why we have that.
Right. We make more options. I also have never understood really the multiple logins into Google. Google can let you log in as different things, aliases, different users. Whose user is using this? And that never made much sense to me. It's one person, one computer. But since I have 2 accounts and now 3 because September got added to it. When I open Google up, I can log into the browser with a particular person, and then you can sync everything across the computers. So when you open Google Chrome up on computer one.
It looks the same.
And you log in with the same account in Google Chrome on the other computer. It looks the same. Yeah,
it kind of keeps your preferences with you wherever computer you're on, if you so want it that way. So
it puts your preferences across all the machines.
Yeah.
What is handy. Any machine you sit in front of. I can sit in front of your computer, log in with Google Chrome, and go into my account, and all my tabs and whatever shows up.
Yeah. I've had that issue with like my home setup versus what's here at work, and I'll log it. Yeah, I've done, and then I'm like, hey, why is my stuff from home sitting here? And that's why. Yeah.
See, that's the problem. It's not clear what it does and why do I need it. Is the first answer. You know, what the heck is this? Why do I need this for? Then when you start using one thing, and then like you said, you go home and then you log in with your work account and go, well, now all this stuff is here. Once you get it, it's actually real handy.
Sure.
But getting it without having used it or anybody training you on it, you have no idea. And it's, dang, it's changed again. Now what?
Yeah, it's like, that 18-wheeler is very handy, but if you don't know all the features on it, then it's not very handy to you, is it? And,
right.
You know, same kind of deal. It's like, go drive it. Wow, the tank's awesome, but I don't know how to drive it or what any of these buttons do. Well, you know, it ain't much good to you, is it? So.
Yeah, we get... pushed fixes that are sometimes ugly, but a lot of times they're nice, they help and they get, but we don't understand them and we don't necessarily need them at this point. But it confuses the heck out of us. Now I need to do this, now I need to do that.
Sure.
I think I told it before already, but I hooked my computer up with my phone. Microsoft is pushing that. I don't know if you have seen it. You know, when an update comes in, say, you want to tie your Android phone to your computer?
Yeah.
And it's like, no, because I don't know what that does. So one day I finally did on one computer that I didn't care too much for. So I can always turn this one off if it doesn't do right, bad, and then figure out what needs to be done. So at first glance, it seems to be nice. But then my phone rang and my computer rang, and I didn't know where to turn. That wasn't a good idea, in my opinion.
Yeah, that could get a little annoying. I could see the one or two times it's handy, but I could see more times than not it's just inconvenient.
Well, I couldn't seem to answer the phone call. I went to the computer, that wouldn't answer, and then I said, where's my and then the phone call was over. No, it hung up.
By the time I go, of course, I have an iPad and an iPhone, and of course those two talk like that.
That works better.
Yeah.
See, I'm talking about Microsoft stuff and Google stuff and Android stuff and whatever.
Well, they try to do that, wanting me to sync my phone too, and of course I have Apple, so they were trying to give me Android stuff, and so I'm like, I don't have Android. It's Apple, so I don't mess with it.
Yeah, if you're Apple and you stay with Apple, you're doing really good.
I did have what I do is I put iTunes and everything on my computer, and that's my Apple backup. So like whenever I get new phones or whatever, periodically I'll go and plug those in my phone in or my tablet in and upload, make sure the apps are synced up, and then when I do get a new phone or tablet, I just plug the new one back in and bloop.
And part of the problem is the Microsoft wants you to use a Microsoft account.
Yeah.
People are against it. My stuff, I don't need to be signing into a Microsoft account. Microsoft doesn't need to know what I'm doing. Microsoft doesn't need to store my stuff online, whatever. Well, until my computer quit, and I said, do I need to back this thing up? What's on here? Nah, I don't need to back it up. I made that decision. Well, there's this one folder, but I can recreate that. So one folder was for the Ubiquiti login credentials for the wireless device that I got. And when I got done with it, I realized I would have to reset the whole thing up. I couldn't get back in it because there was part missing. If I would have saved those files, I would have just copied the files back on and opened it up. So I didn't know what to do, and I let it be. I got busy with stuff. Next day I come in and I go, why are my files back on my computer? Well, I had a Microsoft account. I have used OneDrive. OneDrive asks you want to set it up? Yeah, sure, why not, whatever. But I didn't use it. I didn't care for it, whatever, until that day. The next day, it had restored out of OneDrive back to my account that I logged in with those files. And I go, is it working then? So I clicked on the file folder for the Ubiquiti, and it worked fine. I didn't have to make any changes. So, yeah, there's a big benefit in some things that they do. But then on the other hand, they do a lot of things for their benefit.
Sure.
So they can make more money or advertise to you or whatever.
They'll advertise the heck out of the convenience, but they don't tell you, well, now we can track this, do this here, and sell you this on this end. So don't worry, they're not charity in the night. They're getting theirs. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, and they're trying to make more.
That's right. Just all the time. We probably should be wrapping this up here.
Yep.
But, folks, if you are looking for help with anything related to computers, whether, like you said, you're having password issues or software, hardware issues, want to do some upgrading of your computer, maybe you want to go solid state if you got the old spin-up hard drives here, or maybe you're looking to go cut the cords and go, doing that kind of stuff, and you're looking for advice or equipment to do that. John can put you in the right direction for all that stuff. So
yeah, I'm there from 8 till 12:30 now.
Monday through Friday, right?
Monday through Friday. That gives me time because I'm by myself now to fix stuff up in the afternoon, go on service calls, and run errands that need to be done.
Yeah, that's why he's listening to more podcasts. There's no one to talk to, so when he's in there working with the computers, you got his podcast going on.
They're always going. Always the Leo Laporte shows.
There you go. Keep it up to date there.
No, they're very helpful, by the way. If you listen to the Leo Laporte show, especially the one that's on the radio, too, the Saturday and Sunday show.
Yeah, we carry them right here on
Right.
165.
They get you a lot of answers on questions that most people have. Regular people call into that, just regular users.
Sure.
And even for me, sometimes it's like, oh, that's what that is about.
Yeah. We're Kim Commando does a lot of product review, a lot of where I think Leo Laporte, like if you want to get more into coding, talking like computer stuff, he's probably more expert on that, where Kim is kind of, if you want to integrate things to others, that's kind of her jam there.
No, I don't seem to get to Kim Commando very often. I've been always at Leo Laporte show from the beginning.
Yeah, and they're both good. They're both great.
I'm sure they are.
Kim's kind of like that. Like, she tries to work it into the everyman scenario where
that's the radio show is where Leo's
a little more expert,
and then if you need some more detail on depending on what it is, Apple stuff, Android stuff, security, whatever, he has special shows for that with people on it that know a lot about it.
Yeah, and then you should go to their websites one day if you're looking for products and stuff. They tell you all where to go for this stuff. So but if you need help here, you can call. What's the phone number? Probably the best way to get a hold of John and set up things.
Calling works the best. Okay. Emailing and stuff, we eventually see it somewhat, but just call in and then that works the best. 575-625-9141 will reach me anywhere pretty much, unless there is no connectivity.
Yeah.
It answers on the cell phone, so we can take the phone call anywhere pretty much most of the time.
And leave a voicemail if you do not get...
Right, we check those out if there's voicemails in it. Most of them I'll get, though. Most phone calls get answered, unless I'm driving down the street and can't seem to answer it without getting in a accident.
If you do get the voicemail, leave a voicemail, because John
If you want an answer, if you leave a voicemail, I'll call you back.
Yeah.
If it's not that important and you will call back, that's fine, too.
Sure.
And then, don't be later than 12:30. And then, like I tell everybody, between 8 and about 10:30, it's in general fairly quiet. So it's a good time to bring something in and get some good, uninterrupted attention.
Yeah.
Between 10:30, 11, and 12:30, sometimes we've got 4 or 5 people in there waiting on each other. So.
Gotcha. So, and then, of course, if it's minor stuff, a lot of times you can fix it right there in the while you're there, and you just take
we
it
don't
with
bring
you.
it in the back to fix it later or charge more or whatever. If I can fix it up front, I get it out. I don't have that much time to do anything that I can get out.
Sure.
Get out. Minimum charge in general, if we charge anything, if we need to, is about around $30.
Yeah.
So get it out in 10, 15 minutes, get some advice, whatever.
But if it's something major, then he'll work on the afternoon, and you'll pick it up either later the next day or later that day or whatever, depending on the circumstances.
Yeah, if it's major, I need to have the concentration to work on it, too. And, and the interruptions don't help.
Sure. Well, when you got to bust out the tools and things to get work done, then it takes a little more time.
Right.
So, and, of course, come by the office, like I said, Monday through Friday, mornings there.
Right.
And then by appointment for off-site stuff and all that. He does do, if you've got network issues and things, you got to go out to the site. He'll do that kind of stuff in the afternoon. So call, schedule, and talk to him about that kind of stuff too. Very good. We get it all, John?
1703 North Garden Avenue.
The address.
Don't mix it up with Atkinson.
Right behind the Wool Bowl.
Right behind the Wool Bowl.
Yep. Come on down.
Right.
Well, thank you, sir. Appreciate the visit as
Thanks,
always.
Everybody.
We'll let you get back to it and open the doors and let those folks get their needs taken care of.
Yeah, it's time to get back there.
All right, time to make the donuts. Well, thank you, John. We'll see you next time, all right?
Thank you.
All right, it is 7:50. Let's go ahead and pause for local news. Kim Commando, and we also got your sports brought to you by DSI coming up as well.
Now for a Pecos Valley News update. I'm Jared Cirillo. The New Mexico Tourism Department will present in Roswell on May 3rd from 1 to 2 p.m. at the Roswell Convention and Civic Center. Representatives from New Mexico Magazine and the Tourism Department's Marketing, Communications, Tourism Development, and Research teams will all be on hand to help you dive into the benefits and details of the department's programs and how you can participate in a way that works for you. A question and answer session will follow the presentation. A science teacher in Loving has been recognized with a prestigious national award. Tyler Finch received the Millikan Award and a $25,000 check for his innovation and creativity in motivating his students. And officials with the U.S. agency undergoing a multi-billion-dollar modernization effort that includes the production of plutonium cores for the nation's nuclear arsenal celebrated the opening of a massive office complex in New Mexico on Tuesday. Jill Ruby, the head of the National Nuclear Security Administration, joined officials and members of the state's congressional delegation for a ribbon-cutting ceremony. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
Yesterday, those of us who've been warning that Americans are at a breaking point with a number of different streaming services were proven correct. Netflix subscribers and its stock suddenly tanked. Here's why. I'm Kim Commando, brought to you by ExpressVPN. Secure your online data and get an extra 3 months free at expressvpn.com/Kim. Until now, Netflix could do no wrong. Every quarter it was more viewers, more shows, and more money. But for the first time ever, Netflix suffered a major drop in subscribers, 200,000 to be exact. Next quarter will be worse. Wall Street panicked. Netflix stock dropped by 25%. Explanations came quickly. Increased competition, subscribers sharing passwords. But that's only half right. Forget password sharing. The equation is simple. Too many streaming channels fragmenting the best programs. Inflation and gas prices are eating families alive. They're making hard choices. History repeats itself. This is Cable Cutting Part 2. Stay tuned for more.
It's a no-brainer. CarShield makes it easy and affordable to protect your car from expensive repairs. Protection plans start at around $100 a month and cover more parts than ever before. When you need a repair, you choose the mechanic, and CarShield's administrators handle the rest. No paperwork or headaches. Plans include coast-to-coast roadside assistance, rental car options, and trip reimbursement at no extra cost. CarShield has helped millions of drivers. That's why it's America's #1 car protection company. Plus, get coverage today, and you can lock in your rate. That means as long as you own your car, no matter how old it is, you're protected from the rising cost of parts and repairs. Go to carshield.com/Kim or call 800-391-8888 to save 10% on your plan and lock in your pricing forever. That's carshield.com/Kim or call 800-391-8888 to save 10%. A deductible may apply. CarShield.com/Kim.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Gusty winds, sunshine, and very warm temperatures today will end up in the low to mid 90s by this afternoon. Overnight, low 50s and clear, and then we're looking at low to mid 90s again on Thursday with sunshine, a little bit breezy in the afternoon. Friday, mostly sunny and getting very gusty, wind at about 40 miles an hour, mid 90s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Hey New Mexico, experiencing issues keeping your office technology up to date with these crazy supply chain issues? Well, DSI is here to help. We've diversified our products and solutions to help your business not just survive, but thrive in any situation. Have your teams collaborate and share with high-def video walls and interactive smart panels. With free unlimited support, the fear of any new technology is a thing of the past. Contact DSI today to upgrade your workspace. www.dsinm.com.
It's time for the Chavez County Sports Report. Well, we were under the impression that Roswell had moved its softball games against Clovis yesterday to another date, but we have a score, and we're going to run with it. Roswell, we don't have scores for two games. We have one score, and that was Roswell thumping Clovis 18-3. Yadira Aragon, freshman, had a homer and 3 RBIs for the Coyotes. She wasn't the only one with 3 RBIs on the day. Talissa Espinosa, a senior for Roswell, and Emily Esquivel, they all had 3 RBIs as well. And Roswell will be playing against Hobbs Friday at 5 o'clock at home doubleheader for the Coyotes. Meanwhile, Goddard loses a couple of tough games to Lovington yesterday, 8-6 and 7-5. Goddard at Artesia Saturday for a doubleheader starting at 11. Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. The International Monetary Fund has downgraded the outlook for the world economy, blaming Russia's war in Ukraine for disrupting global commerce, pushing up oil prices, threatening food supplies, and increasing uncertainty already heightened by the coronavirus and its variants. Netflix suffered its first subscriber loss in more than a decade, causing its shares to plunge 25% in extended trading amid concerns that the pioneering streaming service may have already seen its best days. The company's customer base fell by 200,000 subscribers during the January to March period, according to its quarterly earnings report released Tuesday. It's the first time that Netflix subscribers have fallen since the streaming service became available throughout most of the world outside of China 6 years ago. The drop this year stemmed in part from Netflix's decision to withdraw from Russia to protest the war against Ukraine. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Martine's Capital Cafe in Roswell offers authentic and highly rated New Mexico food. Explore their amazing menu featuring huevos rancheros or asado with eggs or their green chili stew. And you can't forget their award-winning green chili cheeseburger, all made from scratch using their finest and freshest ingredients. Open for carryout with curbside delivery or limited dine-in. Just call ahead 624-2111. Martine's Capital Cafe, always pleasing the most refined palate. Open Monday through Saturday from 6 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. at 110 West 4th in Roswell.
Buying a sewing machine from a big box store or online might seem like a bargain, but in this case, you really do get what you pay for. Just the machine. No lessons, no help with figuring out why it isn't working the way you expect, and no one close to fix it. Buying locally from an authorized retailer may cost a little more, but in the end, it will save you time, money, and aggravation. Come see me, Chris Ann, at So Easy Sewing, 200 East College Boulevard in Roswell, and let me show you why it pays to shop local. So Easy Sewing. You've never had it so easy.
If you're missing a tooth or several teeth, a dental implant may be the ultimate solution. Implants look and feel so much like real teeth that you probably forget you have an implant. Maupin and Brown Dentistry is one of New Mexico's most experienced implant providers, with literally thousands of implant patients who are absolutely delighted with the results. Call Maupin and Brown today for an evaluation. You'll be surprised how affordable implants can be. Maupin and Brown, your choice for experienced, state-of-the-art dentistry.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Slugs have 4 noses, but no fingers to pick them. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 7:58. Stay tuned next hour. About 8:15 or so, Andrew Moore with the Roswell Chamber of Commerce will join us, give us an update on what's happening out at the Chamber, talk about upcoming events and opportunities for you to get involved. I did want to mention this. Yesterday we were talking with Donna Oracion over at Eastern New Mexico University Roswell, and she was mentioning that some of the educators there at ENMUR have been nominated for Teachers of Character here by Character Counts in Chavez County. Actually nominated by the public, but it's all through the conduit of Character Counts. And so Thursday night, they're having a drive-through event to honor all these teachers at Church on the Move from 6:30 to 8:30. But so around after the show yesterday, my wife called me and said, "Hey, I've been nominated for Teacher of Character." So guess what? Thursday, we're going to go through the drive-through and do all that. So I'm going to film it. I'm I'm going to film my wife getting her while she's going through the drive-thru. I'll film it and all that, and maybe make it, assuming it's family appropriate. Nothing, those teachers, they're swears. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Now we'll share it on the show here at some point and all that too. But that's coming up Thursday. Church on the Move, 6:30 to 8:30, I believe. Drive-through event, and go through and hopefully. If you know a teacher that was nominated out there, get out there, support them, and encourage them to decorate cars and making a to-do out of it. So I'll get some footage if I can with my phone. I'm not exactly cameraman material, but I'll do my best on that one. So Andrew's here, by the way, Roy, my guest. All right, it's 8 o'clock. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico. We'll be back on the other side. Don't go away.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. As the Russian military continues to pound away at Ukraine, hammering the country's industrial heartland in the east, the embattled southern port city of Mariupol continues holding out. Although the BBC's Dan Johnson says it is teetering on the brink.
Ukraine's Deputy Prime Minister said a preliminary agreement had been reached with Russia to get women, children and older people out of Mariupol today. But the city's Deputy Mayor told the BBC there was no possibility of evacuation for the civilians sheltering in the Azovstal steelworks, which has become the last stronghold of Ukrainian resistance. Russia's Defence Ministry again gave a surrender ultimatum for the Ukrainians fighting there. It said none took that chance yesterday. Ukrainian generals said their soldiers had largely held back Russian attempts to advance along the 300-mile front line through the eastern Donbass region and managed to retake Marinka, a town near Donetsk.
The UN says Putin's war has forced 5 million people to flee Ukraine since Russian troops invaded on February 24th. The Department of Justice says it's up to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. If the CDC determines that mask mandates are still necessary, Justice says it will appeal a judge's ruling striking down the face covering requirements on public transport, including planes and trains. Some travelers quite pleased about the end of the mandates.
I love it. I just want to scream and tell everybody, take those masks off.
While some others not quite sure of what to do, many major airlines and airports are now mask optional. So are Amtrak, Uber, and Lyft. But some big city mass transit systems still require face coverings. On Wall Street right now, stocks which opened higher have turned mixed. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 187 points, while the Nasdaq is down 97. The S&P 2 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
I'm about to compare a pepper shaker to a cash-out refinance. Hang with me. You know when you're at a restaurant and they ask, would you like some fresh ground pepper? And then they crank that giant tube, but almost nothing comes out? For me, only a certain amount of time is socially acceptable to wait. I know that getting that pepper out might make my life better, but it just seems too impossible. And that's what we hear people say about the cash-out refinance. People realize that the value of their home has gone up like hot pepper the last few years, leaving all this extra money sitting inside their home. But is it too hard to get out? It's Ryan from United Faith Mortgage. If you're interested in cashing out the extra pepper in your home, we're good at doing all the work while you just sit back and relax. And often, your mortgage payment and years in the loan will stay the same. If you'd like to hear about your options,
we are United Faith Mortgage.
United Faith Mortgage is a DBA of United Mortgage Corp. 25 Meadow Park Road, Melbourne, New York. Licensed mortgage banker. For all licensing information, go to NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Corporate NMLS number 1330. Equal housing lender. Licensed in Alaska, Hawaii, Georgia, North Dakota, South Dakota, or Utah.
Shanghai has allowed 4 million more people out of their homes as antivirus controls in China's biggest city are eased.
Health official Wu Ganyu says a total of almost 12 million people in the city of 25 million are allowed to go outdoors following the first round of easing last week. Wu said the virus was under effective control for the first time in some parts of the city. Meanwhile, the IMF reduced its forecast of Chinese growth this year to 4.4% from 4.8% due to the shutdowns of Shanghai and other industrial centers. That's down by almost half from last year's 8.1% growth and below the ruling Communist Party 5.5% target. Jeremy House reported.
Authorities used bulldozers to raze a number of Muslim-owned shops in New Delhi. This was before India's Supreme Court halted those demolitions. News and analysis, townhall.com. The National Reconnaissance Office has a brand new eye in the sky.
The NROL 85 satellite lifted off at 6:13 a.m. Sunday from Vandenberg Space Force Base aboard a two-stage SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket. Vandenberg says it was the first mission by the NRO to reuse a SpaceX rocket booster. The Falcon's first stage flew back and landed at the Seaside base northwest of Los Angeles. The NRO only described the NROL 85 satellite as a critical national security payload. Keith Peters reporting.
Title 42 border restrictions may not be ended on May 23rd. After all, Axios reporting that President Biden's inner circle is debating whether to keep the Trump-era policy in place in order to avert an even greater flood of illegal immigration. And once again on Wall Street this hour, the Dow is up 175 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel witch and what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
That'd be the deuce.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. You know, Sean, this is weird. I know you're not going to think nothing of this.
Okay.
You just fixed a problem that I mess up in my life every single day.
Go on.
You moved my iPad back more center onto the table.
My OCD was driving me nuts.
I habitually do this all the time, and I don't know why in my head I rationalize this. At home, when I put that stupid thing down, I always leave a little hanging over the edge. Like at night when I'm sleeping, I put it by my bed to plug in. Sure enough, just a smidge of it's hanging over the end, the nightstand there.
Yeah.
As I don't know why I do it subconsciously. But that stupid iPad, whenever I put it down, I never put it square on a table. It's always just a tip of it hanging over, and I know better.
Yeah.
I just think there's something in my mind thinking, oh, well, it's easier to pick up if I have an edge to just grab it. And I don't know how many times I do that, and then a cat stands on it and knocks everything off the thing, and I do that. It's an everyday thing. So when I just watched you do that, it was like, you don't realize how much of my life that's going on right there.
So what I did, and I know what you're saying is I moved it off the edge. What I did was the OCD of it not being centered on, and this means nothing to people listening.
I know.
But centered on the oven mitt itself to where it's square, covering it. That is what was driving me nuts. My OCD of it being off center was like, oh, I can't take it. I gotta fix that.
Well, my wife does the same thing because she's like, you're gonna break it. I'm like, I've had it this long.
My friend habitually sets her phone on like the corner, like balanced on the corner of whatever she's like in front of. Like you could just scoot it over an inch because it's constantly dropping. She's constantly like messing up her phone screen.
Yeah. I think I'm slowly. Not intentionally joining that. I don't know why.
Well,
it's just dumb.
Glad to help. I think I serve some purpose here.
I talk on this radio, and some people might even think I know what I'm talking about sometimes. I'm a child.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not even going to, I can't function as an adult without people directing me around or telling me to do stuff.
That's half the reason we're okay doing what we do for a living. I mean, we're just man children.
That's why I was an adult. Then I can do whatever I want.
Right?
I got married, so someone would handle me.
Maybe that's why I got married. My husband was like, hey, my husband's exactly like you are. He's like, oh, that's off. And he makes it. But then I go to his office and I'm like, let's touch everything. And he's like, oh, for the love of Pete.
I'll tell you this. You want to absolutely infuriate a group of people, and I've done this before. Walk into a room wordlessly, open a Kit Kat bar, take a bite out of the entire bar, set the bar on the table, and walk out of the room. You will infuriate an entire room of people.
Oh, absolutely.
For the next 10 minutes, they'll sit there and talk about what's wrong with you and society as a whole.
Well, those
Yes,
are just
absolutely.
life's little social experiments when you do that every
You're
day.
a psychopath if you do that.
How dare you?
Speaking of Kit Kat, I can't remember if I asked you this question or not. I saw online.
You did.
The blueberry Kit Kat. Have you tried it yet?
I have not tried it, but let me put it this way. I'm a little over blueberry flavored stuff as of late.
Well, he's got a big vat of blueberry creamer in the.
I know, I've heard.
I made a
blueberry
decision.
cobbler creamer
I
in
wasn't
the.
happy
Who
with
put
it.
the blueberries in their coffee?
I don't know. It looked good at the time, okay?
Well,
I am very much a product of seeing something on the shelf and be like, ooh, that would be delightful.
Well, it's not like it's a little bottle.
Yeah.
Like it's like a gallon jug of creamer, and you're like, oh my god.
Yeah, if you're going to try it, you get the little...
They didn't have it that size.
Then you pass.
You're starting to pull a Thomas Beard. Thomas Beard is a single man who lives alone,
right,
and is a constant shopper at Sam's Club, which is fine
if you have a family.
Except for when that man buys dino nuggets in a 50-pound bag,
right?
Or like you'll go to his house and it's like, why do you got 10 pounds of garlic? And he's like, because they had a sale at Sam's. I'm like, you're going to be garlicking things from now until we're dead. I mean, there's so much garlic you got here, and I don't know how. Like he's like, yeah, I bought a bunch of potatoes. I'm like, you're one man. Why do you have 500 pounds of food?
I wish I could plan like that. Like I wish I had that kind of planning in my head. I don't.
Yeah, he pulls out his mayonnaise. He's got that number 10 can of mayonnaise. There you go. What's nacho cheese? Another 10 can shows up.
That fake cheese actually goes moldy, by the way.
It does.
Yes.
Yes, it does.
My kids experimented.
I'm very much that guy that like we walking through the store and see something on the shelf and imagine myself at home enjoying that product.
Yeah.
Like that's how I justify most of my purchases. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that's how my mind
Call
works.
me the next time you have to go shopping, and I'll just come
I
up
might
and
do
slap
that.
you.
I might do. Just give you a good old Will Smith.
I'll be like, no.
He buys 8 cups of coffee and has got a 3-gallon creamer.
It's a real buyer's remorse situation.
It's Huckleberry Boysenberry Punch.
I liked Huckleberries that one time when I was 8. Pretty good.
You know, it's like one of those things. I like peanut butter. I ain't putting it on steak. Just saying. You know what I mean? Go ahead, Roy.
I just wanted to say I tried Sean's blueberry creamer and blueberry with coffee.
It ain't right.
Not for me.
Nope.
Maybe on pancakes, but not on coffee.
A blueberry is something that needs to be paired with sweet things, not
savory.
Savory.
It's not a savory.
Yeah.
Does it help if I also pair it with a tablespoon of butter?
Well, that's a whole other issue
Well, it's
that
fine.
we need to talk about
Yeah,
another
maybe
time.
that's the secret ingredient that makes it work.
I doubt it.
That
'cause
might
I've
make it worse.
I mean, butter. How many? You butter your blueberry muffin, right? That's the thing.
That was the thought.
That's the thing. I think the coffee
That's
variable
the difference,
screws
I
that
think,
up.
between guys and girls, is we think that extra step, and we're like, hard pass.
But I do want to try the blueberry Kit Kat because I'm a blueberry fan.
Well, blueberry and chocolate could work.
It's white chocolate. I've talked to somebody that tried it. Yeah.
Oh, that makes me mad.
I've talked to somebody that tried it and they said it was not good.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you should try it now for sure.
Well, yeah, no, definitely now. Yeah.
Well, in all fairness, in the candy or the snack world where people like to go with exotic flavors, I'm all for it. Certain companies are better at it than others.
Right.
Oreos is probably the one seed. Like Oreos is yet to put out a bad, weird flavor cookie, as far as I'm concerned. M&M's is right in there. Kit Kat is
Although
really,
M&M's new variation, the cookie crunch.
I want to try it.
They're not good.
No?
You know what it is? You ever had M&M's Crispies, like with little crispy? Yeah, it's exactly that.
Okay.
It's exactly
but
that.
with like
There's
a chocolate chip.
No, it's not even chocolate. It's like
I thought it was chocolate chip cookie.
They took the Twix cookie and put it inside of an
that's
M&M.
it.
Basically.
I was thinking like Chips Ahoy with an M&M shell.
Well, I mean, because there's chocolate inside the M&M.
Yeah, but that in my head, like when I saw these, I imagined the Chips Ahoy cookie, and they put an M&M shell on it.
It was unsatisfying. I'll put it that way.
That's a bummer.
Yeah.
But and I'll also say M&Ms. They're kind of making them all taste the same,
right?
Like there's a whole group of them, especially your brownie or like, and they all, other than like the gooiness of like caramel. I mean, they all kind of taste the same. But anyway, my point was, Kit Kat is like the worst at coming up with weird, like all of their flavors.
Mint.
Now, get me wrong, I love Kit Kat. The old regular Kit Kat, I'll eat them all day. I know a lot of people are kind of poo-poo on them. I like them. And they just need to leave that alone. They don't go in there with the mocha ones. Nah. There's
mint.
There's
like mint.
I've had the mint one, and it's
There's
okay.
a strawberry one, I think, now.
Yeah, a raspberry or something. Yeah, there's
See,
a
that
couple.
gets weird.
Yeah.
No, don't screw with Twix.
Yeah.
Or Kit Kat. Whatever.
Don't mess. If you have something that works, stop trying to recreate the wheel.
Now, you know what I'd like to see happen is take some of what they're doing with Kit Kat and throw it in Snickers.
Ooh.
Like a wafer? Like a...
No. What I'm saying is, what if you did a blueberry Snicker version?
Ooh, okay.
That might work.
Or a mint Snicker version.
No, that's gross.
You think? The
I
caramel
don't
mint,
know if
maybe?
blueberry. I think I'm just so
Mint's
burned
gross.
out on blueberry right now.
Yeah.
Just nothing sounds.
I just
blueberry
think
sounds good.
a fruit flavoring Snicker might be good. Like a blue. I mean, with the chocolate, the nougat, and the peanuts. Right. But then infuse like a raspberry jelly or blueberry.
That could work.
Goo, some kind of goo in there like that. I think.
In
it'd be
your
good.
blueberry creamer, you should make pancakes. Use
That
that
might be-
instead
There you
of
go.
your milk.
There you go.
That's a great idea.
And add a little bit of Sprite, then they puff up a little bit more.
Okay, there's a life hack I never knew.
Yeah, so
You add some carbonated water into
you
it.
go
I
to
like that.
high-end pancake
Does
places.
it got to be Sprite, or can be like
It
7
can be
Up
any
or
Sprite,
whatever
7 Up,
you're
anything that
into?
has bubbles.
Right.
Okay. Although it's probably best if it's clear. Right?
Well, I would assume yes.
Well, I
don't
mean,
know
Mike's
that
over,
you
Mike's
are.
over here making wild cherry Pepsi pancakes.
Oh, say Coca-Cola's got bubbles, but it
Well,
ain't
I
clear.
mean, it depends on what flavor you want.
Yeah, wouldn't it make the pancake look darker or weird?
It also would depend, I think, on the level of like LaCroix is more carbonated than, for example, like your
I have used
sodas.
LaCroix in my pancakes because nobody drinks it at our house because it's gross. So if you infuse it in the
certain
pancake,
flavors I'm okay with. Certain flavors, it's hit or miss with me with LaCroix.
I've only seen 1 or 2 people in my life drink that stuff.
Yeah.
And they're both people. They're fine people.
Mm-hmm.
But they both drink weird things all the time.
Sure.
there you go.
So,
They're willing to try different things.
like, I think some people drink drinks based on what the bottle looks like, regardless of the content inside.
I would
If
agree
they
with
like,
that.
ooh, it looks like a cool shampoo bottle, I'm going to drink it. I'm like, well, what's it taste like in there, you know?
It tastes awful.
I have
Yeah.
known somebody who exclusively drank Topo Chico.
Okay.
Like-
Topo Chico's not bad.
No, but it's just mineral water, it's just carbonated water. I mean, you can get that same thing with any other brand, but they specifically exclusively drank that brand. I think it was because of the way the bottle looked in their hand. I don't know.
I think there's a lot to that. People just like, ooh, see, I look fancy with a curved, fancy bottle.
That's right. Label out, like a
Yeah.
NASCAR driver.
Like the water gets me. Like the ones that what's that one water that literally looks like a bottle of shampoo? Like it's got like VO5 on it or something. Like literally
Oh,
in the
Voss water.
Maybe
Oh,
it's
the Voss,
Voss.
yeah.
Yeah.
Adam Sandler.
Is that his water? Whose does that?
In
water?
Grown Ups.
Oh, that's
The
right.
kids are all bougie and they're like,
Yeah.
I need Voss water. And
That's
they're
right.
at some deep dive in the middle of the woods.
I remember. Yeah, that's right. But I just it literally looks like a shampoo bottle. I'm like,
Yeah.
that
It's gross too.
is it?
Yeah.
I've just never because I'm like I'm not paying that for water.
I went somewhere. God, this was years and years ago. We went somewhere, and that was like the hotel water.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'll give it a try. No, it's nasty.
Huh. Like I felt like I was all like cool with my smart water or my Fuji. Fuji, it's rectangle.
You know, it's just some dude that turns on the hose or any of that.
There's a
And they're
guy-
like, oh, my artesian spring
There's a
water.
guy with a trailer out in the country just turn on his spigot.
It's probably comes from Artesia.
Probably.
Yeah, The only water I can actually taste a difference that I don't like is like Dasani. There's a very specific difference in that water that I don't
They
like it.
proved that Coca-Cola literally turns on the faucet.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that's messed up.
Like years ago, I think there's a documentary or something, and they got busted for that.
Yeah.
Was that on Rotten?
Maybe.
There's a Netflix series, Rotten, from a few years ago.
yeah.
I think they exposed a bunch of stuff on that series, so that
Yeah.
might be one of those.
Interesting.
Have you ever had boxed water?
I have.
Yeah.
And it's bad.
I haven't had it.
It's terrible.
I worked at Allsup's and they had it, and I never drank it.
Well,
I mean,
in
not
Europe,
Allsup's,
when you
Albertsons.
go out of the country, South America, Europe, where they don't refrigerate a lot of things, there's a lot of boxed milk, boxed water.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It takes the flavor of the cardboard. Like
Yes.
you can really taste it. I don't know if like a metal can makes a difference, if like that makes a difference in taste or whatever. But
can.
It can. But yeah, you really taste it when it's in a box. It's just a weird
I drink my water
box
by the
flavor.
box. We're having a fancy party. Boxed everything. Wine, water.
You ever tried that liquid death? I see like
thought we were talking about good
dudes,
things. What
dudes
happened?
with sleeve tattoos drink it. It's just
Oh, my
water.
favorite lesbian on TikTok drinks it.
Oh yeah, yes.
Liquid death?
It's
She's
just
got dreads. She's awesome.
it's carbonated water. That's all it is. No
Yeah.
flavor, no nothing. But the can is the selling point because it looks hardcore. It's
Okay.
got like a hardcore design on it.
I always thought she was drinking beer, and she was like, and then she did a thing, and she was like, no, it's water.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't get why they do. I don't like carbonated
Hey,
water.
man, you want
That's
some liquid death?
Yeah, man.
You know the elixir of life, liquid death.
It's a good marketing move.
It really is.
If you got just a plain old drinking product, market it some way that makes it sound like it's the most awful thing on the planet. You'll get people to be like, oh yeah, I want that.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
What this thing's called? Turn your guts inside out? Yeah, give me that. Sign me up. We call this colon blow. Yeah, give me some of that. You know.
What's that? The probe? I'm in.
That's right.
I'm not sure what this flavor would be, but I'll try it.
Stomach pump.
Yeah, we call it EXD, explosive diarrhea. You love it. EXD, drink it today.
It sounds like my kids. My kids are those ones that are like, smell this, taste this, it's gross. And I'm like, why would I do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is nasty. Try it.
Yeah, well, that's the move. The move is, this smells funny. Smell it.
Right.
You're like, no.
I'm like, hard pass.
Speaking of, and I saw this yesterday. I don't know if this is actually a thing or not, but I saw it yesterday that Mountain Dew now has a flamin' hot flavor.
Yeah, that just sounds gross.
That sounds awful.
But I'm genuinely curious.
You would.
I
mean,
want to know.
You and Georgia need to come on here and just taste all the weird things.
If we do it on the air, I'll try it.
Right.
But that sounds disgusting.
It does sound awful.
It does.
It's a hard sell for a 12-pack.
And in all fairness, I'm not flaming everything guy. I mean,
Yeah.
to me, it's okay. It's average. I don't need to put it on everything. I don't need flaming hot Funyuns, flaming hot Cheetos, flaming hot Mountain Dew, flaming hot whatever.
Meanwhile, I'm the guy that's going to have an ulcer in 3 years because I am that guy.
Yeah, I just
It
don't.
just sounds like the ultimate gamer drink.
Or the
to me.
Takis.
Right?
The Takis, is that who started the flaming hot? Was it Taki?
No,
Probably.
Flamin' Hot. Actually,
Was it Cheetos?
Here's where I get to flex my my weird. I watch YouTube all the time.
All right,
knowledge.
Weird Al, give me,
All right.
hit me
so
the knowledge.
Flamin' Hot Cheetos were actually created by the janitor of the Frito-Lay company. He created the flavor of Flamin' Hot. He I think like 4 or 5 years ago became the CEO of the company. He was a janitor for Frito-Lay, and he like one night just
Did he give up his
came with-
janitor job?
Well, no, he's still.
Or like when he's not
Right?
CEO and he's like, gotta clean the bathrooms. Be right back.
You know he's still probably adjusting iPads to make sure that they're properly.
Got a kid puked up in the testing department. Be right back.
We have a meeting we got to get to, but I got to go clean up a spill in R&D, so 20 minutes. Back
Buy,
at you.
sell. Give me back. Gotta mop up some puke. So it was Cheeto.
Yeah,
That
it was
started
the
that.
Frito-Lay company. That
So
started
like,
creating
was
Flamin'
he
Hot.
like just mopping a floor or something?
I
and
like to
said,
think that he was mopping. He bumped into like a thing of like ingredients on
Yeah.
the counter or something. He's like, "Hey,
Yeah. He's in the kitchen there and he knocks over the chili powder or something. This would be good in Cheetos or whatever they stick in there. I have no idea what it is.
I'm drawing
Yeah.
from a tacit like remembrance of this story, and it's good that you're here because usually you call me out on my BS, so you can't do that now.
Curling my hair.
The whole time.
Oh my kids, I need you to get my phone.
It's a tacit knowledge of that story, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was. The janitor of the Frito-Lay company somehow created the flavor of Flamin' Hot, and they applied it to like everything.
All right.
There you go.
So now he sold it to Burger King and Mountain Dew and everybody else. To,
Yum brands.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, good for him. All right, we probably should talk chamber stuff at some point. So we'll do that. Andrew's here to talk that, not Flaming Hot Cheetos or any of that stuff. It is 8:24. Let's go ahead and do weather, and then we'll take a quick break, and then we'll have Andrew on the other side. Don't go away.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Gusty winds, sunshine, and very warm temperatures today will end up in the low to mid 90s by this afternoon. Overnight, low 50s and clear, and then we're looking at low to mid 90s again on Thursday with sunshine, a little bit breezy in the afternoon. Friday, mostly sunny and getting very gusty, wind at about 40 miles an hour, mid 90s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Wilbanks Trucking Services in Artesia is seeking dedicated and motivated individuals to join their team. Immediate openings include CDL drivers with pay starting at $25 to $33 per hour depending on experience. Riggers with pay starting at $20 per hour and open positions for lease operators. Wilbanks Trucking Services offers full benefits including medical, dental, vision, 401k, and housing for out-of-town employees. For more information on career opportunities, please call 575-746-6318 or online at wilbanks.us. Wilbanks Trucking Services is an equal opportunity employer. Roswell Skin Center, a brand new state-of-the-art facility located in the 400 Penn Plaza building here in Roswell, is now accepting new patients. Dr. Brandon Cometti and his team offer a full range of skin care services, including general dermatology, surgical and cosmetic procedures, including cutting-edge laser rejuvenation, Botox, filler, laser hair removal, chemical peels, and other non-invasive options to improve skin health and turn back the hands of time. Call and schedule your appointment at Roswell Skin Center today, 208-2509. That's 208-2509. The Pecos Valley Artesian Conservancy District is looking for a qualified field technician to join their team. The PVACD conserves the waters of the Roswell Artesian Basin with lands located in both Chavez and Eddy counties. Please visit their website at pvacd.com for requirements and job qualifications or for more information on this great career opportunity. Resumes can be submitted at the PVACD office located at 2303 East 2nd Street in Roswell. The Pecos Valley Artesian Conservancy District is an equal opportunity employer.
Whether you're buying or selling, no one likes to be pressured into making a decision. So when Roswell Ford makes an offer to buy your vehicle, you'll have 7 days to think about it. Roswell Ford is always looking for gently used cars and trucks like yours, and we'll make you a cash offer on the spot. It'll probably be more than the other guys, and we'll give you a week to think about it. That's just the way we do business at the Tailgate Nation. So it only makes sense to see us first when you're ready to sell or to buy. Roswell Ford has southeastern New Mexico's largest inventory of nice pre-owned vehicles. Each one has survived a rigorous 139-point inspection, and Roswell Ford gives you a 3-day money-back guarantee. So if you find something you don't like, you can just bring it back. With the days getting longer and summer driving on the horizon, now's the time to start shopping for your next vehicle. So come see us at Roswell Ford, the Tailgate Nation, where we'll always give you time to think about it. 9th and Main.
Hey, this is Dr. Keon Agger at Carabelli Dental in Roswell. Our office is passionate about creating beautiful, long-lasting smiles. But here's the thing. Sometimes that means dentures, and that's not a bad thing. These aren't your grandma's dentures. We combine artistry and the latest technology to create beautiful, natural-looking teeth. If you are in southeastern New Mexico and you have dentures or are considering dentures, you need to come visit us at Carabelli Dental.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental or call 622-4455.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Sigmund Freud once believed that cocaine could be used to help treat a morphine addiction. Mike used bacon to get over his addiction to beef. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 28 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio officially now from the Roswell Chamber of Commerce, Andrea Moore with us. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Anytime. How are you doing today? Thanks
Pretty
for coming
good.
early, too. I had to,
absolutely.
I had to move things around for
Even though I was sitting on the couch at 7:04 and I went, oh, snap!
See, that's the difference between men and women right there. 7:04, you're like, oh, man, I got to be here in an hour. I got to hurry up. Guys, like, I got another 30 minutes before I got to worry about anything.
Oh, 100%. My husband would have been like, oh, I have time to spare.
I got to watch Sports Center real quick. I get it. Well, how's things at the chamber this
We're
morning?
actually doing pretty good. In
Good.
fact, tonight we've got Michelle Garcia Holmes, who's running for Congress in District 1 because we've all been redistricted.
Sure.
Roswell's now 3 different congressional districts.
Yes.
The 5 sheep in the boot hill still have Yvette.
Yeah.
And then Roswell is divided between 2 and 3.
Yeah, or much of Roswell's under 1. isn't
Correct.
it? Yeah.
Correct. And so Michelle Garcia Holmes will be at the chamber. We're just having her, we're not hosting her. It's not an official chamber event, but she's being brought in by another organization. So she'll be there at 5:30. Please come out and meet her, ask her all the questions because she's now going to be.
Well, and that's just it. These are new people.
Correct.
New district, really. So we all got to learn a little bit about all the candidates. For this, especially if a hunk of us are going to be making a decision here in June and again in November. So let's learn about these people. So
Please come out and meet her. I've known her for a couple of years because she's run for a couple of other things up in Albuquerque. And I always encourage people to come out and ask your potential or, elected people the questions and then hold their feet to the fire once they are elected.
Absolutely. That's how it works.
That's right. So 5:30 at the chamber tonight. And then we've got a ton of stuff. Let's see. Thursday, May 5th, Pasta Cafe Business After Hours.
Oh, a good one.
I know it will be packed. They always do a great thing.
They're all good ones, but anytime a restaurant or a place that does food, they always seem to be a little bit more popular.
Oh, absolutely.
Business after hours.
Then Tuesday, May 17th, and this is an odd one. Tuesday, May 17th, we're having a business after hours. La Casa Behavioral Health, which is where, what is that? Mescalero behind or next to what was the old racket club.
Oh, yes.
That building.
Yes.
That's
on East Mescalero.
East Mescalero, yes. Turn right, not left.
Yeah.
Off of Main Street.
So it's really, right off of Main. You go, like 2 blocks, and then it'll be on your right.
Right behind Big Five.
Yeah, that shopping
right
center there. Yeah.
So La Casa Behavioral Health, that's going to be on a Tuesday. That's our only weird business after hours because they've got all of their board members and CEOs and everybody's going to be in town on that Tuesday. So they asked for us to do a special deal for them, and we said absolutely.
Perfect.
At 5 p.m. on the 17th. May 25th, we have a lunch and learn with Sun State Technology. Of course, our seating is limited because it's going to be in our boardroom, so we ask for RSVPs, but it's a free lunch and learn. Lunch is going to be provided.
Excellent.
And you're going to learn all about cybersecurity, how to stay safe, and, ask all of the technology questions about how to be safe online and keep your system safe.
Businesses that are trying to, almost everybody had to ramp up their online game with COVID.
Yep.
And now if, you're finding out, hey, there's a lot of great resources available to me online now, but you want to make sure you're protected, make sure that you don't, you're not compromising like your customers' passwords and information like that. And so.
And how to deal with it when it's not a matter of if anymore, it's a matter of when
they try to hack in and
because we've had that happen in our office where all it takes is you get an email. Do not click on something that you do not know where it came from or who it is. I have really gotten good at calling people now and going, hey, I got something that looks a little weird from you guys. Is this real or not real? And most of the time they're like, I didn't send you anything. Delete it, get rid of it, because you never know what kind of weird things are in when you click on the links.
And imagine with this lunch and learn, you're going to get a chance to find the clues that will kind of put, like if something don't feel right or sound right or look right, and the hairs on your neck start standing up here, and you're like, they'll tell you what things to look for and say, you know what, that's one of those things, and because. It's a cat and mouse game.
It really is.
When it comes to computer security, as soon as the people that are making the virus protections or the anti-hacking stuff, the hackers are working around it or trying to find the next way to break through there. And and at the end of the day, I think it's going to boil down to much like security in the real world, where they say stuff like, if you just make it harder for the criminals, they'll move on quicker.
Yes.
And it's like things like make sure your door's locked, make sure you don't leave a thing or don't set up your yard where there's a bunch of hiding places for people and things like that. I think at the end of the day, cybersecurity is going to be the same thing. It's like, all right, it's if they want to get in, they're gonna. But if you put enough barriers up, they're just going to be like, this ain't worth my time, and move on to the next person.
Absolutely. And like John was saying just right before me when he came on, passwords.
Yeah.
Yeah, passwords are a pain in the butt when we can't remember them.
Yeah.
Because you have to have different ones for different things. And please don't ever have your password be password or admin 123.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Come on.
I don't know nothing about that. I'm just saying, if you can count around this place, you could probably get into a few computers. Just saying.
I'm a nosy Nelly, and I am that person that if something is left unattended, I will try it. And it is amazing how you go into places and the password is something benign like that.
Sure.
Admin 123 or password 123 or John 123.
And the more like a business like that, more people that are in and out accessing it, usually it's the easier it is because they want to make it convenient for them to get anybody in there to do what they got to do, including someone nefarious could just slip right in and say, oh, yeah, boop, boop, and they're in and out before you even realize they did something. So,
Yep. So please, that's May 25th, Lunch and Learn, obviously at noon.
Good deal.
We'll open the doors about 11:30 so everybody can come in, grab something to eat.
Sooner, like you said, the sooner the better, because there's only a limited number of space. I mean, it's free and everything, but because there's the conference room only holds about 40 people or so. 45 officially, and then of course we got a plan for food.
Yes.
To make sure everyone's covered on that. So.
And then June. Now we're going into June pretty quick for business after hours. American Legion Post 28.
Oh, they got the new bar and everything over there.
Yep.
So come
so
see
we
the new
just
dig.
got that call yesterday and finalized it. So we're excited for that. We are helping Job Corps with their open house Saturday, May 21st from 10 to noon. Out there at, I can't read this, 57 G Street. So out there by the college.
Yeah, out down on the south.
Where
end.
Job Corps is.
The base there, yeah.
They're going to have an open house because they're coming out of COVID too. They want to show everybody what they're doing, and they're also hiring.
Yeah.
So
And,
Saturday, May 21st.
They've had a
you can do
rough
that.
go of it the last couple because they've been trying to ramp up and then they get kind of knocked back down again, and then try to ramp up, get knocked back down, and so they talk about regulations, and man, that's an organization that's had a. You think you've had it bad? They've been going through.
Oh
all
yeah,
because
they're regulated through the federal government.
Yeah, so they got a lot of people looking over their shoulder.
Exactly. And I know they've got a new team. They've brand new people we've been meeting. It seems like once a week I'm meeting somebody new that's been hired over there.
They've been doing it. So good news is they maybe finally they're now able to kickstart and get going to a regular program.
They're a
again.
great program.
They do amazing things for folks in our community.
Yep. And then we're also a drop house for homeschool students, applications for online school students / homeschool students that need scholarships for supplies and other costs can come pick up their applications at the chamber and then drop them back off. So if you are a homeschool family or some kind of online type learning family, please come by the chamber if you are in need of a scholarship of some kind.
Cool. Is it who's putting that together?
I do not have that information because Liz did not send that to me. But we've been working with this gentleman. He's a great gentleman out of Dexter.
Okay, cool.
And has a love for these students.
I'm glad to hear that.
The homeschool kids and the online kids do get overlooked a lot.
We can, if parents and families decide then they're wanting to homeschool, we should give them as many resources as possible to help them do that. And this sounds like a great thing.
Because I know their curriculum. I have lots of friends that are in that space, that homeschooling space, or they go to the Emmanuel Lutheran, which is kind of that homeschool / day school.
Yeah, yeah.
And curriculum is expensive.
Sure. And I know some parents, like you're thinking, no, you know what? The basics, the fundamentals, the ABCs and 1, 2, 3s, I want to teach them. And then, because, the arguments about homeschool and not home, we can have that debate all day. But at the end of the day, I think some parents say, I want to do the best of both worlds. I want to, for the developmental, teach them to read, write, and do basic math. I'm going to do that as a parent. And then I understand social interaction, learning to work in groups, all those things that kids get in school. I'm going to give that to them when they're little. So I'm going to start them in, say, 5th grade or whatever.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
absolutely.
That's a decision a lot of parents do make and things like that. And so however you as a family decide to do that, I think you should have equal amount of support no matter what. So this gentleman in Dexter, awesome. Thanks for stepping up and providing this. And maybe you could be maybe an example for others in the community who want to do something similar, and we can make this into a bigger thing.
Yep, and we've got flyers and the applications. I know Liz has been talking with the gentleman at length with him, and it really seems like a good deal. And I've had... I've dabbled my toe in homeschooling during COVID.
Yeah.
We homeschooled my kids because I kind of saw what was going to happen.
Sure.
And at no fault to the school district or the teachers, we were just all thrown into this.
It's a world problem, and you saw the writing on the wall, and regardless of what happens,
exactly,
these kids are still growing. The kids are still on a timetable that COVID doesn't care about, and they still got to function in life.
And one of my kids totally blossomed and excelled at homeschooling, and one of my kids, she did not do very well. It was not her cup of tea. So as soon as school started this year, she was like, can I go back to school? I miss my friends. And she needed that extra bit of help with being in the school setting. Whereas my other daughter was just like, oh, this is awesome. In fact, she got her freshman and sophomore year done through COVID because it was just so easy for her. And she was like, oh, you mean I'm not in class with 30 other kids that the teacher has to constantly be going over material? She goes, I have it right here. If I'm having an issue, I can rewatch the videos, or I know how to get a hold of that particular instructor and get going.
Sure. And that's human beings.
Yeah.
You know, some people are very much, you know, that self-driven and others need the nudges and things.
Yep.
And that's personalities. That's how people are. And I don't know, now I'm getting soapboxy, but I'm thinking like in the future, I think education should cater that way.
I agree.
Maybe, you know, there isn't this one straight cookie cutter, go to class, here it is. Maybe some kids thrive that way. Maybe there's other kids that don't. Maybe we need to allow them to go to a different path to get educated.
I totally agree.
You know,
and I saw it just in my 3 kids and then my 3 daughters, I should say.
Sure.
And my middle daughter, she could go both ways.
Yeah.
She wanted to go back to school because she missed her friends, but she does miss the homeschooling because she goes, oh, I could be in my pajamas.
Yeah.
I could get my stuff done by noon.
Sure.
Or she wouldn't start until I'd come home after lunch and be like, what in the Sam Hill are you doing? Let's go. And she'd get it done in a couple hours.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
it's kind of, I mean, and of course, it's an age-old debate on how they do this and, you know, school year-round. And, you know, you ask 10 people their opinion on how kids should be educated, you're going to get 10 different answers.
Oh, absolutely.
But
I say screw up your kids the way you want to screw up your kids.
But, again, I think that's pretty cool. And if there is any homeschooling parents that need resources here, please come by
Please
the chamber.
contact us at the chamber.
Apply for this the scholarship, in essence.
Absolutely.
And,
It's a scholarship for supplies and other costs related to homeschooling and online schooling.
Because, by the way, if you decide you do want to homeschool, they just don't give you a bunch of teacher stuff. They'll give you some material, but a lot of it, you're the one going to the teacher store buying, you know, this stuff. And in essence, you got to build a little classroom there in your home.
And many of the families I know do have a dedicated room that you walk into their house, and it does look like a schoolroom.
Sure, yeah.
For that very reason.
And by design, because if you choose to homeschool, you've got, as a parent, you've got to teach your children separation of, okay, this isn't mom and dad time, this is education time. Yep. So you almost have to separate. Well, that's a home issue. You didn't do your chores. We'll deal with that later. Right now, we're dealing with school.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And so sometimes you need those kind of things to establish the boundaries and things like that.
And definitely early on.
Yeah.
So please come see us for that. And once again, I cannot stress enough, Michelle Garcia Holmes tonight 5:30. And of course, we are providing little eats and little drinks.
Nice.
So come meet Michelle. I unfortunately won't be there very long because I have to go be a mom to a senior, and we have senior things to do this evening. But Juliana Halverson, city councilor, newly elected city councilor, Juliana Halverson helped set this up. And so we're happy to open the doors at the chamber to give a meeting area to meet a potentially new congressional.
These are the best ways to learn
person.
more about them because you get to ask your questions, you get to ask your opinions, you get to you get face-to-face time with these people that are running for public office.
Yes,
and so
and ask her the hard questions because I promise you, I have.
Yeah, and this is what and again. Hard questions is okay. It's, we talk because at the end of the day, I mean, no, this is the difference. Hard questions and being a jerk, that's two different things.
Absolutely.
And asking a hard question about an issue that's relevant to what the job is, nothing wrong with that. Asking stupid stuff like, getting personal, which is what happens a lot of these times is, look at her face, look at his face, look at that person's.
Oh, you wore purple pants instead of the pink pants.
And I know people get petty, but at the end, when that happens, the message gets lost sometimes. Sometimes you're like, well, what do they stand for? I don't know. They just got weird hair. And so, you know what I mean? You almost lose what you're talking about because everyone's busy chuckling, cohorting about whatever here.
And that's one of the things at the chamber, whenever we have these types of political events, I really do try hard to not let it get too nasty. I will allow the hard questions to be asked and answered. But if you start harping or if you start to get real nasty, we're going to first ask you to stop. And I'm not above asking you to leave the premises.
There you go.
Altogether.
Das Boot.
There have been a couple of times.
But I just but as the public, our responsibility is to ask hard questions, but at the same time be respectful, and then when it's your day in the ballot box, that's when you get to make your decision.
And she is running on the Republican ticket because I know that's that matters to people in this area. So she is a Republican running for Congress in District 1.
So conservatives around the area, learn your candidate, meet your candidates.
And she's new because it's not going to be Yvette when you go in June.
Many of you are not going to be able to vote for Yvette Harrell in June here in the fall later on, assuming whoever gets the nod there.
Correct.
One would assume it would be her from the Republican side. So
I think so. I think Yvette.
She's unopposed, right? On the Republican.
On the Republican ticket, so she'll be good through the primary. But I believe that there is a Democrat running against Yvette out of Las Cruces.
Las Cruces, So that is a contested race.
Absolutely.
But I'm in the primary for CD1. Is there more than one candidate? I'm guessing there is.
There's Michelle Garcia Holmes, and then there's a gentleman by the name of Luis Sanchez.
Okay, very good. And then the Democrat's the incumbent.
Correct.
Gotcha.
And at the moment, I don't remember her name because I am relearning and learning all of the new people.
Teresa Ledger Fernandez, or is she three?
I'll have to look that up.
She three or one? I can't remember.
One's Teresa and then one's the other gal because there's two of them, two gals.
Yeah.
Because that's one thing about New Mexico that is really cool. All three of our congressional congressmen are female, so that's nice.
Yeah,
but
I'm just.
I know I can't.
My brain
and I had
cramps,
just
and I'm trying to remember
her.
that other name. And
I had just met her about a month or so ago.
And as soon as someone says, I'm like, but I just can't do it.
100%. That's how I'll be. I'll be like, oh yeah, I remember. So, but that's our biggest thing tonight is that meet and greet for Michelle Garcia Holmes. Please come out 5:30. And then, of course, our business after hours that are coming up pretty quick. If you are not getting our email every Friday that goes out,
the chamber blast there.
Yeah. Contact us at the chamber. We are more than happy to get you added.
Yeah.
We do some emails that are only for members, but come in, be a member, and you get access to all of that information too. 575-623-5695. Or come see us, 131 West 2nd. You can't miss us. We've got that awesome alien mural.
The big mural there, and got all the stuff. Is it June, the next magazine coming out?
We are actually working on the magazine right now. We've got 2 weeks.
Okay.
to get everything added. So if you want to be an advertiser, we've got a couple, time is limited because it's going to go fast.
Get her done this week or next. And
absolutely. Give us a call. Kyle or I are more than happy to come and see you in person or talk to you over the phone, whatever is easiest for everybody. And this issue is our extraordinary people issue. So all of our valedictorians will be featured again. The Realtors Association will be picking their Citizen of the Year.
Nice.
So that person will be in there, as well as some really cool other citizens in Chaves County. Because our magazine, once again, is about Chaves County, not just Roswell.
Yeah. Speaking of that real quick, and I'm just going to throw the reminder, Thursday, Character Counts, Chaves County. They're having their Teachers of Character celebration, I guess you could say, and it's a Church on the Move. It's a drive-through event from 6:30 to 8:30, and teachers, like my wife got nominated. She told me yesterday.
That's wonderful.
So
Congratulations.
I'm going to try to film it while she's going through the drive-through in there and see if I can put it up on our videos and all that stuff. So.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah. We'll be more than happy to share that.
Yeah.
That kind of information is exactly what we need for this, for not only the chamber, but our magazine and all of that.
Absolutely. So there's a bunch of teachers. I think, what are they, about 200? It's all, what's cool about it is all these teachers have been nominated by the public, basically.
Yeah.
Students, parents, it's all, the Character Counts seeks out nominations, and people go and say, Mr. or Mrs. So-and-so did this, and that's my teacher. And so they normally do the big banquet and everything, but COVID's kind of put a damper on that. So
I know.
I'm guessing I'm going to predict this will be the last drive-through one. Next year they'll be back into a.
I think so, because we're noticing that since we had Rise with Roswell.
Yeah.
And that was an awesome event. We had a packed house, standing room only, with Rise with Roswell. So since we're starting to open, I've also noticed that other organizations just before and after that event are starting to do the same thing.
And I think the airline thing is kind of the swing that's kind of making everything just kind of.
I had heard that the court system overrode the mask mandate. So now, like Delta, for sure, is no longer requiring masks when you go to fly. It's optional.
Yeah, and they're all kind of going that way.
And so I think they're all, as that happens, I agree. I think as the airlines go, the nation, you'll start to see.
And and as long as the CDC doesn't balk, then the DOJ is not going to challenge it. So
I think so.
Yeah. So hopefully the CDC's like, here, we're good, and then the DOJ will leave it alone, and we'll go back to living our lives.
You do you.
Yeah.
As Sean says, you do you, boo boo.
There you go. If you have any questions about anything regarding the chamber,
come to the chamber.
Come by the chamber. Call the chamber. What's the phone number?
575-623-5695.
Chamber on Facebook and Twitter. And Instagram. Sorry. Twitter, Instagram and Facebook.
Yes.
Sorry, those are the two.
And, we're better some days than others, but give us a call if there's something that you're not seeing. And, of course, please contact us if you want to be part of our email list, because every Friday, right around lunchtime, we send out that email list that'll have everything that's going on in the community.
And then any special updates, too, like if during the week some event changes or moves or added to the thing, you'll get those notifications as well.
Yeah,
too, so.
Things that are time is necessary or of the essence.
Special opportunities that just kind of pop up from time to time, which happens all the time. Somebody coming through town offering something, and they're like, come on down, we'll see you something real quick. Those kind of things, I mean, less and less in COVID, but they still do happen.
Yep, and give us a call if you want to be have something featured either in the magazine or in our email, whatever. We'll do our very best to help you out in any way we can.
Absolutely. Come on down. Well, thank you, ma'am. Appreciate it. Hanging out and enjoying all of it, the Kit Kat and more.
Absolutely. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for having me. Anytime. It is 8:52. We're going to pause for the news of local variety. Also, your Wall Street business update, quick break, and all that next. Don't go away.
Now for a Pecos Valley News update. I'm Jared Cirillo. The New Mexico Tourism Department will present in Roswell on May 3rd from 1 to 2 p.m. at the Roswell Convention and Civic Center. Representatives from New Mexico Magazine and the Tourism Department's Marketing, Communications, Tourism Development, and Research teams will all be on hand to help you dive into the benefits and details of the department's programs and how you can participate in a way that works for you. A question and answer session will follow the presentation. A science teacher in Loving has been recognized with a prestigious national award. Tyler Finch received the Millikan Award and a $25,000 check for his innovation and creativity in motivating his students. And officials with the U.S. agency undergoing a multi-billion-dollar modernization effort that includes the production of plutonium cores for the nation's nuclear arsenal celebrated the opening of a massive office complex in New Mexico on Tuesday. Jill Ruby, the head of the National Nuclear Security Administration, joined officials and members of the state's congressional delegation for a ribbon-cutting ceremony. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Gusty winds, sunshine, and very warm temperatures today will end up in the low to mid 90s by this afternoon. Overnight, low 50s and clear, and then we're looking at low to mid 90s again on Thursday with sunshine, a little bit breezy in the afternoon. Friday, mostly sunny and getting very gusty, wind at about 40 miles an hour, mid 90s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. The International Monetary Fund has downgraded the outlook for the world economy, blaming Russia's war in Ukraine for disrupting global commerce, pushing up oil prices, threatening food supplies, and increasing uncertainty already heightened by the coronavirus and its variants. Netflix suffered its first subscriber loss in more than a decade, causing its shares to plunge 25% in extended trading amid concerns that the pioneering streaming service may have already seen its best days. The company's customer base fell by 200,000 subscribers during the January to March period, according to its quarterly earnings report released Tuesday. It's the first time that Netflix subscribers have fallen since the streaming service became available throughout most of the world outside of China 6 years ago. The drop this year stemmed in part from Netflix's decision to withdraw from Russia to protest the war against Ukraine. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Coming to the Liberty, Thursday, April 21st. Don't miss an evening with Reckless Kelly.
Ragged as the road I'm on.
With special guest, Cooks and the Huckleberries. Doors open at 6. Show starts at 7:30. Tickets are on sale now. Get yours before they're gone.
Now I'm double fisting long. It's a great proven story, but I'm never getting over Jody.
For information on how you can become a bona fide member, visit thelibertyinc.com. Don't miss an evening with Reckless Kelly, Thursday, April 21st at the Liberty.
To plant or not to plant? That is the question. Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company. Our tomato plants and pepper plants are ready to go. If you plant them now, you might have homegrown tomatoes and peppers before anyone else, or the frost might kill them. As Clint Eastwood would say, do you feel lucky? You'll either be the smartest gardener in the county, or you'll get to replant them all over again. I say go for it. You'll get more practice and we'll get more business. This is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company, and I apologize to William Shakespeare.
Make your home a smart home with Smart Home Wi-Fi from Plateau. Now you can connect more devices to fast, reliable Wi-Fi throughout your home. That means faster speeds with no downtime or lag. Enhance your connection, expand your reach, and experience whole home device control and protection with Plateau. Plateau offers true fiber with options starting as low as $60 a month, all with no caps and no hidden fees. Call today, 575-755-1000, or stop by 1001 South Main in Roswell. Get Smart Home Wi-Fi today from Plateau. Try true, trusted.
For over 40 years, Sierra Blanca Motors here in Roswell have been providing locals with quality vehicles and are committed to providing you quality vehicles and service for many years to come. No sales gimmicks, no inflated pricing, just a quality pre-owned vehicle listed at retail pricing or less. Have a used vehicle to sell? Get top trade-in value or an amazing cash offer today. Let Danny or Jose provide you a great car buying experience. Call 575-622-7907 or stop by Sierra Blanca Motors at 720 South Main Street in Roswell. Se habla español.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too, and that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. But our part-time service in the Army National Guard means we get to be more. When our communities are in need, we get the chance to stand up and do something about it. We get to serve in our own region and help the people we call neighbors. Whether they are in the mountains of New Mexico, the plains of Nebraska and Kansas, the ranches of Oklahoma and Texas, the farmlands of Missouri and Arkansas, or the bayous of Louisiana, we are here for our hometowns. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the New Mexico Army National Guard. Aired by the New Mexico Broadcasters Association and this station.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The Goodyear Rubber Company researched and concluded that shoes wear out faster on the right foot than on the left. To fix this, just walk backwards for half the day. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. We're closing in on 8:59. Stay tuned. Next hour, here about 9:15 or so. We're going to be joined from Loveless Regional Hospital, Rocky Rodriguez. April is Occupational Therapy Month, so Rocky's going to join us, talk about services they provide through occupational therapy, what is occupational therapy? We'll talk all that. We'll have a fun, great conversation with Rocky next hour. Do want to remind you, if you missed any part of our show or any of our interviews or anything, and then you missed them and want to catch them, you can always find them on demand at your leisure, ksvptv.com. Click on the Mornings with Mike Winters channel. You'll find them there. Also, you'll find them on our 106.5 Roswell Talk FM Facebook wall and our YouTube channel as well. Look for Talk FM, Roswell's Talk FM on YouTube channel. We got it there, too. All right, it is 9 o'clock. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico. We'll be back on the other side of news.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. President Biden reportedly considering a delay in the rollback of Title 42 border restrictions. Ending Title 42, which currently is supposed to happen next month, would result in an even larger influx of illegal aliens. And Axios reports that members of the Biden inner circle have been discussing keeping Title 42 beyond May 23rd. The Justice Department yet to make a final decision on whether to appeal a judge's ruling striking down the mask mandate on public transport. Some travelers pleased the mandate is gone.
I mean, it's up to individual, but for me, I just don't like wearing a mask, and I'm happy about it.
While others not quite ready to get rid of the face coverings.
I respect other people's choice not to wear a mask, but I will wear a mask if I am in public transportation.
The Justice Department says that if the CDC decides that mask mandates are still needed, it would appeal the judge's ruling. As Mariupol, Ukraine continues to take a pounding by Russian artillery units, there is talk of another humanitarian evacuation corridor.
Deputy Prime Minister Irina Vereshchuk said there was a preliminary agreement to allow women, children and the elderly to leave Mariupol from the west into Ukrainian-controlled territory. The southeastern city continues to be pounded by Russian bombs, which flattened a sprawling steel plant believed to be the defenders' last holdout. Russian military strikes also hit a hospital where hundreds were staying. Vereshchuk said civilians in Mariupol were facing a catastrophic humanitarian situation. I'm Karen Shamas.
Watching Wall Street, stocks are mixed at the moment. Right now, the Dow is up 315 points, a gain of close to 1%. The NASDAQ Composite Index down 68 points. The S&P 15 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Mother's Day is coming, and so is the challenge. What do you give the mom that gave you everything? This Mother's Day, give the gift of a lifetime of memories, digitized forever. Hi, I'm Adam.
And I'm Nick. We started Legacy Box over a decade ago to simplify preserving footage of mom's wedding, your first steps, and all the milestone moments that made your mom, mom.
Over 1 million families have trusted Legacy Box to convert those meaningful moments.
Legacy Box is simple, safe, and affordable. Simply fill your Legacy Box with photos, film, and tapes. Our team of experts will do the rest.
Not to mention, you'll get back your originals and new digital copies on DVDs, thumb drive, or the cloud, ready to relive and share for generations.
Make your mom feel extra special this Mother's Day with what Real Simple calls the perfect gift.
Visit legacybox.com/lbox to get early access to our Mother's Day sale. That's legacybox.com/lbox for an unbelievable deal. Legacybox.com/lbox.
A security pact the Solomon Islands has signed with China continues to generate concern in the West, perhaps nowhere more than in Australia.
A draft of the deal leaked online said it would allow Beijing to send armed forces to the Solomon Islands to protect Chinese investments. The foreign minister in Canberra, Marise Payne, said she was deeply disappointed the security accord had been signed. The opposition Labour Party insisted that the Australian government's diplomatic failures would allow China to establish a military presence in the region. Beijing said the pact would help it respond to natural disasters and maintain social order.
The BBC's Phil Mercer in Sydney. 4 people dead, 19 injured, the result of a series of suspected methane gas explosions deep in a coal mine in southern Poland. News and analysis at townhall.com. A federal grand jury in Washington indicts 2 men accused of impersonating federal agents.
Arian Taherzadeh and Haider Ali were arrested in an FBI raid earlier this month. Prosecutors say the pair claimed to be members of a non-existent Homeland Security task force investigating gangs and violence connected with the January 6th attack on the Capitol. They also tricked actual Secret Service officers and agents, including one assigned to protect the First Lady, offering them expensive apartments and gifts. The plot unraveled during an investigation by postal inspectors of an assault on a mail carrier at the apartment building. Tim McGuire, Washington.
A state of emergency in Coconino County, Arizona. It's because of a fast-moving wildfire on the outskirts of Flagstaff. That blaze forcing the evacuation of more than 700 homes. Again, on Wall Street, the Dow up 278 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
Feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel witch and what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3 of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Wednesday.
Indeed.
So I got to share it real quick.
All right.
So during the break there, I was working, shooting emails, buy, sell, doing my thing.
Yeah.
And I was responding to an email where someone was telling me, hey, we got a guest coming up on a such date. So to reply back, to tell them I acknowledge that you got this and have annotated it, I just was going to I typed, got it, thanks, and hit send.
Okay.
I typed all the letters right.
Sure.
Spacing was not right. So instead of putting the space between got and it, I put it after the O in the so when I sent it, it said go space
thanks.
Yes, and then
You can say that word on the radio, Michael.
I know. I just don't. So, fortunately, I caught it before I hit send. I was like, oh, I don't want to say go Ted. I want to say guy.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm an enthusiast.
I just thought
big ones, small ones.
It was one of those
things
I was like, oh yeah, I better fix that. And then I chuckled to myself afterwards, and I
Did
said,
Mike
"Let me
get
tell this on the radio."
Did Mike get that email? I don't know, but he's super enthusiastic about breasts.
I don't know. It was a very weird response, but
I want that on a shirt.
Fortunately, I caught it before hitting send and crisis averted.
And you were thankful for it, too.
I was.
Thanks.
I did. I said thanks.
It's funny. I literally just said, you can say that we're on the radio, and now I'm still, I get the lip sweats.
It don't right. It don't feel right to say it.
See,
so.
when you've been doing this for long enough, kids out there, you have this this trigger in the back of your head. It's like, I'm on the air. I know I can say this, but it hurts me to do so.
Sorry.
We all have a little FCC in the back of our heads.
Yeah. Although now I'm hoping somebody's going to put "got it" on something and they're going to chuckle because I see.
Right.
Welcome to my head.
Just one. Not even the pair. Just the one.
Exactly. Then it would have been a problem.
And leave the driving to us.
Well, happy Wednesday.
Yes.
Good news is I got the work done. So.
And go.
There you go.
Thanks.
It would be funny. Is maybe I should not say nothing and then wait till the day of the actual interview that we were talking about and say, this was the date. And I said, go, it's. Yeah. So, anyway, let me give you the rundown for this hour of the show. We're going to get you up to date with the weather here in just a few, which it's windy and hot, and there's red flag mornings like tomorrow. It's still like today's going to be windy, but, anyway.
That's why I opted for the hat.
There you go. I for a half a minute, I almost wore a hat today.
Yeah.
And then I changed my mind. I think what actually happened is earlier I was like, I'm going to wear a hat today. And then I forgot about it, and then I go to work, and I'm leaving work. I was going to wear a hat today, and I forgot.
Your hair's not nearly as susceptible to winds as mine is.
Well,
if I have like a 3-mile-an-hour wind, it's just...
Well, I say you're incorrect. Because when I wake up in the morning, what 7 hairs I have, do this. And they're all over the place. I'm a little warm, so there's kind of a sweaty head. So when I wake up, my hair is
fair enough. You know what? You did take the crazy up a notch.
See,
just doing that.
That's what it looks like when I wake up. So, and the wind will do this to it too. So I gotta kind of, make it kind of flat.
There you go.
So something like that.
Yeah, that makes sense. I appreciate the Mike's checking the camera to make sure.
It looks bad still. Oh well.
Yeah, you're good.
I'm married.
I got to impress you.
Oh man. So we'll get you updated with the weather.
Yes.
And then here in just a few, joining us from Loveless will be Rocky Rodriguez. We're going to talk occupational therapy, as April is Occupational Therapy Month. So we're going to talk all about that with Rocky here, have a great conversation, talk about what he does and services and the ins and outs of occupational therapy. So we'll chat with him in just a few. Later on, we'll get you up to date with the news of the local variety and whatever else we can come up with.
I figured out yesterday. I figured this out. Kind of, I've had the theory for a while, but I made the establishing thought yesterday that my brain works weird, in that I can remember where I was when I heard a thing. Let me explain. I was listening.
Are you talking about like when Pearl Harbor happened? You're like, I was here.
Kind of. In essence, let me explain. I was listening to a podcast that I listen to a lot, and I happened to accidentally put an old episode on, one that I'd heard before. So as I'm listening to this episode, I didn't think to turn it off because it was a good episode. As I'm listening to this episode, certain parts of the episode would play, and I would remember where I was geographically when I heard that the first time.
Oh, okay.
I was, specifically, I heard a bit.
It was a warm spring afternoon.
Specifically, I heard a bit, and I was parked in Pioneer Plaza when I heard this bit. And I've had that before, where it's like I hear something that I've heard before, and I can remember where I was when I heard it the first time. But yesterday was that concrete, holy moly, this is my superpower.
So now...
I just got to figure out how to harness it.
Well, now my question is, we're literally just sitting in Pioneer Plaza listening to a podcast.
Yeah. Well, I was waiting for a friend.
Okay, I was like, was there any other reason for you to be in Pioneer Plaza?
I like my car. I like being in my car. It's my happy place. Okay. Sometimes I just go and hang out in the car.
All right.
All my stuff is within arm's reach. I can listen to whatever I want.
That's your happy place.
It is.
That's
I like
where
it.
the people on the hobby horses are dancing and the music and
literally in therapy when my therapist was like, you need to establish like your happy place, the place that you find yourself being the happiest. And it was for a long time the back porch of my sister's house on a specific day. It was weird, like the whole thing, but it's become my car.
Coach Day,
I just like hanging out in my car.
Well, good for you.
Yeah, it's a good spot.
There you go. So
I think maybe it's just because it's mine.
Now I'm thinking, like, if you ever give me a ride, am I going like into your inner sanctum, and am I like, Well,
if I ever give you a ride, first of all, you understand I spend a half hour cleaning the crap out of the front seat in order for you to have leg room.
You do have stuff.
I'm a man who likes my things. Yes, all with arm's reach too.
That's right. There might be some treasures down there. Hey, maybe we do an eating history Sean's Car edition.
Funny you mentioned that. The last time I washed my car, I found the vape I lost.
Oh, nice!
Like 2 months ago. So
see, that's what you do is clean out. You might just I got this back. It'll be like the reverse country song.
What I need to do is start hiding valuable stuff on the floorboard of my car, like a $20 bill or like a jewel.
Yeah, it'd be like I found your dog and
my wife's back down here.
There it is.
Yeah, fixed my marriage. Weirdest thing.
I just reversed the country song to clean out my car. So. All right, on that note, I'm spent. It is 9:14. Let's get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Gusty wind, sunshine, and very warm temperatures today will end up in the low to mid 90s by this afternoon. Overnight, low 50s and clear, and then we're looking at low to mid 90s again on Thursday with sunshine, a little bit breezy in the afternoon. Friday, mostly sunny and getting very gusty, wind at about 40 miles an hour, mid 90s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 83 degrees. Yeah, it's warming up already here in Roswell. Humidity is at 7%. And amazingly, we're not in a red flag warning today. Tomorrow, but not today. Wind speeds are at out of the southwest at 9 miles per hour. Sunny today, a high of 94. Winds will be out of the southwest 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly clear with an overnight low of 54. West winds 15 to 20. They'll drop down 5 to 10 after midnight tonight. For you Thursday, we do have a red flag red flag warning. Actually, the red flag warning is in effect. I take that back. The red flag warning starts today and will continue through midnight. We have the fire weather watch that's going to kick in tomorrow at 8 and remain in effect through 8 p.m. So there is the red flag warning today. Good. Earlier was just saying 21st. Now it's saying today and tomorrow. For tomorrow night, mostly clear. Overnight low of 55. Southwest winds 15 to 20. Friday, I wish I had better news, but it sounds like it's going to be a windy event on Friday as well. They're talking areas of blowing dust for the afternoon. Sunny, high of 93. Winds will be out of the south 15 to 25 early, increasing 25 to 35, gusting as high as 50 miles an hour on Friday. So batten down the hatches. Friday night, partly cloudy and windy with an overnight low of 53 and a little cooler for the weekend. Saturday, sunny, breezy, high of 82. Sunday, sunny, 77 for a high. So, yeah, that's a big drop from mid-90s today and tomorrow to down in the upper 70s on Sunday. All right, it is 16 minutes after 9 o'clock. We're going to take a 3-minute break, and then we're going to have Rocky Rodriguez join us from Loveless on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
We teach our kids to say please and thank you to total strangers, but we get so familiar in our marriages and families, we stop being polite to each other. Hi, this is Pastor Troy and my wife, Miss Julie Smotherman, for The Joy of Marriage.
In the love chapter of 1 Corinthians 13, it says that love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful or proud or rude. We emphasize being polite to each other in our family, which promotes an attitude of respect and brings peace in our home. Remember your manners with the person you love the most. Appreciate the things they do for you and let them know.
Being polite to each other can help you avoid conflict. Let's be polite to strangers, but let's not give our best to the people we don't live with. Let's give our best to each other.
If you have any questions or would like further information about the Joy of Marriage Ministry, please go to jomconference.com.
Roll in and save during the Moneyopoly event at Roswell Nissan with game-changing savings on a huge selection of vehicles like a 2017 Chevy Malibu for just $279 a month, a 2018 Escape for just $249 a month, or a 2015 Rogue for just $149 a month. Get a mini Monopoly board and play the Plinko Cash Grab for your chance at cold hard cash just for stopping by. Get a free trip to Vegas with a test drive and bring your mailer for the chance to win $50,000. Moneyopoly all month long at Roswell Nissan, 2111 West 2nd.
So what am I doing with my tax refund? I'm giving my home a makeover with new furniture from Glenn's. A new living room, dining room, and bedroom. Even a curio cabinet for my elephant collection. Glenn's has beautiful, high-quality furniture that I'll be proud of for years. And Glenn's will deliver it for free. So my tax refund and I are headed for Glenn's. And my home is going to be fresh, bright, and beautiful. Since 1953, people have been coming to Glenn's Furniture at the corner of Union and Alameda in Roswell.
You know what happens in the spring. It's cleanup time. And AC&B, HF Sinclair, Navajo Refining, and the Boy Scouts are at it again to help clean up our community. The Scouts will come to your house and haul off items that you need to dispose of and have no way of hauling. The dates for pickup are April 23rd, May 28th, June 4, and June 11. Just call 575-513-0143 and let me know when, where, and what. Take advantage of this free service and let's make Artesia clean and beautiful.
The Pecos Valley Artesian Conservancy District is looking for a qualified field technician to join their team. The PVACD conserves the waters of the Roswell Artesian Basin with lands located in both Chavez and Eddy counties. Please visit their website at pvacd.com for requirements and job qualifications or for more information on this great career opportunity. Resumes can be submitted at the PVACD office located at 2303 East 2nd Street in Roswell. The Pecos Valley Artesian Conservancy District is an equal opportunity employer.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Linen can absorb up to 20 times its weight in moisture before it feels damp. Now, you don't have to get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom anymore. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 20 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from Loveless Regional Hospital, Rocky Rodriguez, occupational therapist, with us this morning. Good morning, sir. How you doing today?
Good morning. How are you?
Doing good. How's life at Loveless this morning? You been keeping busy?
Oh, yes, sir.
Good deal.
It's awesome.
So April is Occupational Therapy Month. I know we, the public, don't keep up on all these. I mean, we know the big ones like usually October with breast cancer awareness and all those. But a lot of the other ones, the medical professionals keep us up to date on that. But really, with making April Occupational Therapy Month, the whole point behind this is just to remind folks that don't overlook physical therapy, those things. If you're in need of these services, don't try to go on your own sometimes, thinking to remind you, hey, see a specialist. They can fix that. You don't have to deal with these nagging issues that you're dealing with. There's people like Rocky here that can help you fix that kind of stuff. So let's talk about the difference, because we were just talking. You're head of the physical therapy side at Loveless, right? But you're actually the occupational therapist. So even though you do all physical therapy, you're kind of actually in the office doing the occupational. Like when you're working on patients, it's on the occupational therapy side.
Yes, sir.
Good deal. So I guess maybe we should start there. What's when we think of physical therapy and we think of occupational therapy, I think a lot of us lump it all together as, rehab of some kind. Are we close, or are we way off on that? What's the big difference?
So occupational therapy, the main difference is we work with clients in their functional capacities of occupations.
Okay.
Such as, a toddler needs to learn how to navigate and play with toys and stuff like that.
Okay.
As compared to an older adult, needs to be able to function within the family setting or, cook, dress, groom, all that good stuff.
And then this is, so basically it's kind of retraining the body and the brain to do the functions that kind of in essence
are in automatic mode sometimes. For us, things we don't think about per se. It's just your brain handles it. Things like, breathing's one off the top of my head. We don't think about breathing. We just do it. But when you move to go pick up that pen or walk down the street, your brain's doing automatic pilot mode stuff all the time too. And so a lot of your therapy is involving reconnecting those established paths, so to speak, and getting the people to kind of make it second nature for them again.
Right. Yes, sir.
Gotcha. Now, what kind of reasons do folks come see? Is it mostly because of either some kind of accident or injury or a medical condition? Or like you mentioned, kids, do you get some that are born with some of these deficiencies that you have to kind of work with as they get a little older?
Autism is the big one.
Okay.
That we work with kids with autism, and in the clinic we see a lot of hands, shoulder injuries, stroke patients, and all that.
Gotcha. And that's so you really see kind of everything. Anybody so you even see some of the sports stuff, like say someone messed up a knee or something and they got to rehab it so where they can function again. You're doing that stuff, but at the same time, a stroke person that's a victim of stroke and they've lost some limited use of part of their body or some of their motor skills, like speaking, things like that. You're working with them to kind of get them into practice and retraining them to learn how to do these things again.
Yes, sir.
It's kind of like now, and this might be getting into the weeds a little bit, and I'm sure each case is different for each person, but is that generally a dysfunction in the brain, or is it a dysfunction in the nerves and the various paths that go from the brain to the arm or whatever you're trying to control? Is it, or could it be both? I'm just curious, like when you're dealing with these.
It could be both.
Okay.
A lot of the shoulder injuries are just like rotator cuff tears, and hand injuries, carpal tunnel's the big one.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So and really that's not dealing with brain per se. That's just hey, you use something 100 times, it wears out at a point, and you gotta, it's you buy a garden hose. After a few years, the garden hose don't work anymore, and you got to replace it. Well, unfortunately, our bodies, sometimes you use that, you're typing or whatever your whole life, and you tend to wear down some of those parts there, and you got to do things to fix them, and or at least make them where you can manage it.
Yes, sir.
On average, how often does like the patients that you have are, and obviously this varies depending on their conditions and what they're doing, but a typical patient, do you see them for a couple months stint? Is it years? Is it patients that you 24, all year round, you go all the time? I mean, what's generally your patients like do you have full-time patients that you see all the time, 24, or is most of them just, hey, you had a sports injury, you're going to be with me for 6 months, and after 6 months, you're done? I mean, what's generally what you see like that?
So typically in the clinic, we see them twice a week for about 4 to 6 weeks.
Okay.
In home health settings or nursing home settings, you see them a little bit longer.
Okay. I imagine you've got staff that does the home health stuff and all that. You're primarily office kind of stuff. Gotcha. Yes. Generally, how do people come make appointments through you? Is it through you direct, or do a lot of them come through primary care physicians, or do they get referrals from other specialists? Generally, because I know a lot of times if people say they had a stroke or they had a reconstructive surgery on something, part of the treatment is they get scheduled to meet with you to do all that. But do you get people that just come in off the streets too and say, hey, my knee's bugging me. Can you take a look at it? And they say, hey, you just, I mean, do you get that kind of patients coming through your doors?
Well, you have to have a referral from a primary care or orthopedic surgeon.
Okay.
So
gotcha. Perfect. Because so basically, if your knee's bugging you or whatever it is, you need to see your primary care specialist. Let them determine whether this is you're just getting old, you got to deal with it, or no. There's some cartilage here, there's some kind of issue, we need to do it. So they come to you later.
Yes, sir.
You'll be the one.
Yeah.
You don't get a lot of people just say, hey, I've got a thing here. Can you take a look at it today?
Right.
So now I'm kind of curious, what kind of treatments do you do? Is a lot of it like motor skill stuff where you're just making them repeat over? Is it getting your hands and working things? I mean, what's kind of like your day-to-day stuff? What's it involve?
So we do a lot of exercise and physical agent modalities such as ultrasound, e-stim.
Okay.
We do a lot of hand exercises, finger dexterity, and hand manipulation exercises. All that stuff.
So it's a little bit of everything. It's when you got to get in and actually do procedures.
Yes, sir.
But there's much of it is his training. It's it's kind of like an athlete when they're trying to get ready for the football game or the baseball game or whatever it is. They're in the gym working out. They're doing stuff to get ready for it. Some of your side is very much that kind of thing where you're learning to walk again. Guess what you're going to be doing a lot of? Walking practice, to get you there. And so there's some of that. I got to imagine, so do you get do you see some of the patients that we see like on TV sometimes? Like if they've been paralyzed or something and then they learn to walk again, and like do you get those kind of experiences through your office from time to time?
Yes, sir.
That's cool.
Sure do. Yeah.
I imagine that's got to be probably the coolest part of your job when you get someone that maybe can't walk or had a stroke and they weren't able to do things, and now after some time with you they're able to really do the things that they loved or before. Is that probably the coolest part of your job?
Oh yeah. Definitely.
Good deal. How often does that happen? I mean, is that every day? Because, I see it on the TV, and you're just like, oh, what an amazing moment. But I got to admit, you're probably seeing several people that are in those scenarios, and so I'm guessing you probably see that more often than you think, don't you?
Right. Yes,
That's
sir.
cool. Where people learn to walk again or at least get some function. And now let me ask you this. How much of it... Because you as a specialist, you're going to, you do everything in your power can do that. But I also know that some of the treatment and things you're talking about is stuff that the patient has to be on board with. Like it's the old saying, you can lead the horse to water, but you can't make him drink. You can sit there all day and say, you've got to do this, you've got to do this, you've got to do this. But if they don't do that, that's going to really hamper. So how much of your job is playing a little bit of the motivator psychologist side of things too? Because let's face it, I'm sure you deal with patients and they have a day where they're getting their butt kicked in rehab and they're getting down, and then I guess then your job kind of turns from therapist to coach and saying, you know what, you could do one more, you can do, so you got a little gym trainer in your background too, don't you?
Yes, sir. Yeah. And motivator is the main thing.
Yeah. But is that something did you realize when you do it, or was that, I'm just curious, like when you got into this line of work, was that like a draw for you? Or, now that I'm thinking about it, I guess the question is, what drew you to physical therapy and occupational therapy? What did it for you?
So what drew me to occupational therapy was being able to help patients, like you said, regain function and just seeing their overall progress and all that.
Sure.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you had like a family, because sometimes some people get involved because families. Like I had an aunt or someone who did it, and I said, you know what, that's where I want to go. I didn't know if you had maybe a personal thing there, but I'm kind of curious. The people that come in, are most pretty gung ho, or most kind of? And I imagine each scenario is different. You get people, maybe older folks might be having that mindset of, well, I'm done anyway. Why am I doing this? And then, is that something that you deal with a lot, where you have to be the kind of the motivating factor? Yeah, you're breathing, aren't you? There's a reason why we're doing this, and you need to do that. Is that something you deal with a lot?
No, we don't really. The people who come in our clinic, they are real motivated and
good. I was wondering about that because I just, I can imagine some folks when you get older. We're all getting older, but now that I'm, on the 50 side here and looking around, you kind of think like, all right, at one point you're just like, I'm at this certain age, it's supposed to hurt, Right. Yeah, and so I didn't know if you got people that had that mindset and you're saying, no. It's you got an old car, you just accuse it to not, the oil always burns, or do you fix it?
Right.
You fix
Yes,
it. That's
sir.
what it does. So let's talk specific about some of the services. What the nuts and bolts, actual conditions and things that people come to your office to get treated for, or to get rehabbed on.
So we do a lot of ortho cases, hips, knees, shoulders, carpal tunnel, tennis elbow surgeries, and a lot of ortho cases is what we deal with. And
most of that's probably just degenerative over time, sports related stuff generally, right? Or is it some of that dealt with illness and like your stroke conditions and things?
It's more sports related and degenerative conditions.
Yeah, because you're dealing with like strokes and things. That's more motor skill type rehab. It's not like a physical problem with the muscle or the bone per se.
Right.
It's the connections from the brain to that arm, leg, whatever it is, and they're not firing right, and you kind of have to retrain the brain and say, no, this is when you're as your brain is telling you to pick up that cup, this is the path you want your brain to take it to go pick up that cup. Right now it's going, and then it goes somewhere else, and you're like, I can't do it, and we got to retrain it to that's kind of what you're doing, is kind of basically getting the maps realigned back up for them inside so that the brain knows where to send these signals and send these various commands and what have you.
Yes, sir.
And is that really repetitive? Is that like, when I think about that, is it really just muscle memory? And you hear things like muscle memory. Is that coming into play in some of that when we're talking about why we pick up this phone right now or why we don't? Is that muscle memory as part of that, or things we refer to as muscle memory?
Yes, sir. That's what we refer to. Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm curious. Muscle memory. What does that actually mean when someone says that? Because I know the memory is not in the muscle; it's probably more on the firing the nerves and all that stuff, right?
Right.
Gotcha. But it's just easy to say that. But that's really what you're dealing with. Do you deal with because we think of stroke patients and things, we think of older patients on that. But do you have a lot of patients that are younger or stuff that are dealing, maybe not stroke per se, but similar type symptoms? Or some, like they're having motor skill issues, things. It's not stroke related. I mean, but do you still have younger folks that deal with those where maybe it's autism, maybe it's another reason that the motor skills aren't working the way they're supposed to?
Yes, we do deal with younger folks as well.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I'm just curious on the autistic side. How does that kind of work because when I think of the physical therapy, it's repeat and things, is it much the same for autism? Or is it a different path you kind of have to do to connect and make those breakthroughs, so to speak?
Well, there's a lot of different levels of autism. So, I mean, depending on the severity of the autism,
sure,
is kind of based on our treatments and.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I just didn't know if it was the same neighborhood of treatments, or it's a different animal altogether. You know what I mean?
Different animal altogether.
Gotcha.
Yes,
Whereas, like, in essence, these other folks, something happened to cause that problem.
Right.
Where these folks are born with it, so I didn't know if the problem looked the same on the inside, if that makes sense.
Right. Yes, sir.
I'm not a doctor, so these terms are very technical, But really, on the average day, you're dealing with people that, knee rehabs from surgery or a hip replacement or something like that.
Yes, sir.
And I know enough to know I've had nothing replaced yet or nothing like that I've had to do, but I know enough to know the success and the question of, was it rough or was it easy? Almost always the answer to those questions are resolved in the rehab side, right?
Yes, sir.
That's where generally people talk about a hip replacement or a knee replacement. They're kind of, oh, that was rough, or no, that was easy. And odds are pretty good. The folks that said they had very little problems, they're the ones that listen to you, the therapist, that says you need to do these exercises on your own time. You need to eat, or, you can't walk, or, whatever restrictions or requirements you put on them. Because I know a lot of us will have a knee and we get boneheaded and we think, all right, we're fine. I'll walk up them steps and stuff. But you're not 100%. We're rehabbing. We're getting it back to the way it was before. You can't just go and start running triathlons on this thing. We got to get you there. And so I'm guessing most people that have like reconstructive surgery or any of these types of things, or even stroke rehab, anything like that, the ones that do what the therapist says and follow the aftercare generally have a much less hassle-laden recovery experience.
Right. Yes, sir.
And I was just curious, is that probably your biggest problem you have when you have setbacks, is really people not doing their homework, so to speak, and following
through? Yes, sir.
So if I could give you any advice, if nothing else today you take away from it, if you have any kind of reconstructive surgery or rehabilitation type procedures, the follow-on care is the key to success here. That's the hard part is that part. It's not the actual surgery where they're going in and moving the ligaments around or doing whatever. That's easy. That's an in and out couple hour deal. The real healing happens after that's in place, and as we rebuild the joint, the muscle, and get you to a point where that's serving you as you would before.
Right.
So please, when Rocky tells you to do something, it would behoove you to do it,
right?
Because he's just doing it to make your life a little bit easier and a little bit. You guys have tried and true methods, and I don't know, everybody's different. Everyone's got unique things, but at the end of the day, the rehab, the things you're teaching them, it does work. You've got to give it a chance.
Yes, exactly.
And I was just thinking, you have one of the more unique, and I guess this is true with all, doctors and medical procedures, but less people are going to argue with the doctor about your meds to take and all that, whereas they'll come to you and be like, I don't need to do that. My knee, you know what I mean? It feels like people are willing to test the boundaries more at a rehab versus just going into their primary care physician to, talk about whatever medical condition they have. Am I close on that? I just kind of feel like your homework people like to blow off because it involves walking or moving your neck or doing, and people don't understand the value of it till they don't do it. Does that make sense?
Like I said, the majority of our patients, they come in, they're real motivated. They want to get better. And
okay, I guess I just do a lot of cocky people because I could just see people going in. And it's like, yeah, I'm going to really do this for 3 hours or whatever you're telling them to do. Right. I've done it, and the few times I've had like a shoulder thing, and it not enough to warrant seeing a specialist, but just go and seeing your primary care physician. So yeah, you got to pull muscle, whatever it is, but in essence, there's not much you can do. It's like, right. So he's telling, just do this, and you keep working it. And I'm not going to lie, the first time I was like, whatever, but then I started doing it, and sure enough, I was like, yeah, pain's starting to subdue and everything. There's something to this. I didn't know if people were like stubborn like me or more receptive to being
There's some out there like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we live in that world sometimes here. As far as other advice you would give patients and things right now, other than just your follow-on care, is there any other tips or things that your patients could do to kind of make the entire rehab process easier or better for them?
Just follow through with the therapist and work closely with your doctor to, ensure everything's healing correctly. And
sure. How much does diet come into your I think most of us think of therapy and all that, we think the physical side. But how much of your job is talking diet with these folks and things like that? Is that a big part of rehab or physical therapy, or not so much?
Not so much.
Okay.
No, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know. So if you got one doctor harping about eat too much red meat or something, Rocky's not going to give you a hard time about that. Right. Good. But he is going to work you.
Right.
He's going to work you, and you come ready to work, and you come, come in your sweats, I guess, for a lot of folks. Come in your gear and sweats, and then doing that aftercare. But that's the thing. And I think at the end of the day, your probably job is as much the coach as it is the actual expert in the room on the medical science behind it, too, is that day. Because at some point, I think all of your patients probably hit a wall or something. You know what I mean? A part where maybe they're not seeing the progress as fast as they hoped, and they get frustrated and things. And then you have to be there to say, no, you got to keep the nose to the grindstone. It will pay off. You just got to keep doing it. And that's the big thing about your industry, is you really have to make sure those patients stay on top of this stuff.
Yes, sir.
Until we get to that point in like Star Trek, where they had that little thing you just waved over everybody and fixed everything.
Oh, yeah.
Remember the little tricorder looking thing? Until we get that thing, you're going to have to do rehab on your knees and your back and all those things.
Yes, sir.
Good deal. Is there any information about that we wanted to talk about that we didn't get to? Anything about? We'll get the contact information here, but just as far as services you provide or some of the things that you can offer that we haven't really covered yet.
So we do wheelchair evaluations.
Okay.
In the clinic every second Thursday of every month.
Okay.
Yes,
and so
sir.
is this kind of like I think of car seats for kids. Like every time they have those car seat checkpoints where you can kind of make sure that your car seat's installed and is working properly, you guys offer this in essence for wheelchairs.
Yes, sir. Every 5 years, a patient qualifies for a new wheelchair, and so typically we do the evaluations, and then we have the wheelchair person that comes down with us, and we do all the fittings. And,
the work on it.
Yes, sir.
The nuts and bolts of the wheelchair, that kind of stuff. I imagine, is that like, because sometimes people may have a wheelchair, they just getting older, and they went to like a thrift store or someplace and found a wheelchair. Do you get people who will come in and bring those in and say, is this a serviceable wheelchair, or should I just got ripped off?
So
does that happen? Is that part of this too?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Because I mean, it's not very often that you see wheelchairs and things, but it is sometimes it happens, and I think most people get them through their medical supplier or through their own doctor or things like that. But on occasion, people do that stuff. So, but like you said, what dates do you do that again? I'm sorry.
The second Thursday of every month.
Second Thursday of every month. So that'll be May. Will be the next one.
Yes, sir.
So very good. Again, call his office to schedule an appointment, or if you want to ask any questions about the wheelchair servicing or anything like that. 575-625-3372. That's Rocky's office number here for the for physical therapy there.
Yes, sir.
And then call and schedule an appointment, or if you have questions, I'd about to say schedule an appointment's probably done through your primary care physician or specialist. But if you have questions about the wheelchair, or you know what, even if you just have questions about service, maybe you have a knee or something, and you're like, well, I know the surgery, I want to know what's going on afterwards. Don't hesitate to call your office, talk to some of your staff. They'll be happy to give you kind of the information on what to expect on all that kind of stuff too.
And we also do total joint pre-op classes as well.
Okay, so if you're getting ready to have a joint replacement, you guys do like classes on what to do beforehand?
Yes, we do. We do classes on what to do beforehand.
I didn't know there was prerequisites on some of that. What type of stuff are generally required for people before they have like a joint replacement?
So we usually go over the exercises to do prior to surgery.
Okay.
And then what to expect during surgery and after surgery.
So it's really just an informative thing. It's not like you have to. I mean, yeah, there's probably some stretching, various things that might make it a little less painful for the process and afterwards, I should say, in the rehab side. But the rest of it's just, okay, this is what. So on surgery day, you're not shocked or surprised or like, why are you doing that? Everything that's going on.
Right. Yes, sir.
Very cool. Excellent. So please reach out. Please come in. If you've got these issues, start the process. If you've got the nagging injuries, those things, talk to your doctors. Talk to your primary care. Let's get it looked at, and maybe they can set you up to here and get you seeing Rocky Rodriguez here and get you fixing these problems that you've been, if it's surgery that's needed, or maybe you go right to the rehab. Maybe it's like, we don't need surgery, but if you spend some time with our occupational therapist here, he can give you some exercise, some treatment, and we can get a little more life out of that knee for you, or whatever it is. You know what I mean?
Yes,
do you do a lot of that where we're not ready for surgery yet, but let's do some stuff to kind of make it stronger and buy you a couple years before ultimately we're going to have to replace that knee? Do you deal with that kind of stuff too?
Yes, and it's typically the insurance tells you have to do therapy before they even
I understand that.
Do an MRI.
They're like, I ain't spend the big bucks for it. Is you sure it's bad? Let's check it out. Let's go. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
Insurance. We all answer insurance at some point or another, don't we? It's the world we live in. So, but folks, if you need help here, there is an option for you here in town. Loveless has you covered. Come on by, talk to. And by the way, if you go to the website loveless.com, you can go and research all the services through Loveless, including occupational therapy and physical therapy. So if what we're talking about here isn't your problem, but you got some other issues, maybe you need a cardiologist or endocrinology or any of these other very popular places where people need, Loveless has you covered there too, and you'll find it all at loveless.com.
Yes, sir.
But if you want to talk specifically with Rocky's office, call direct 575-625-3372, and you can talk about referrals or any of the questions that you have there. Or if you just say, hey, I heard you on the radio. I would love some information about what you guys do. Can you kind of fill me in a little bit? And they'd be happy to talk to you. I always say especially when it comes to your own health and things, ask questions. There's nothing wrong with asking questions and wanting to know what's going on. Trust your experts, absolutely. They're the experts, but it's nothing wrong to, it's your body, it's your life. You should know exactly what's happening to every part of it.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, sir.
and that's what you guys do is take care. And I got to ask this question because I do this. Any rumor or any luck on burritos back at the hospital yet? Is the cafeteria out serving burritos yet? Because in case folks don't know, Loveless Cafeteria, they got good food, but something about their breakfast burritos but COVID's kind of shutting that down, and people go to the hospital just to eat lunch, or did before COVID. And I know that sounds weird, but that's true. And so I was just questioning if are those burritos making it out yet, or is it still kind of calmed down because of the COVID stuff?
I think the cafeteria is in full
nice
swing. Yes, sir.
So get your burrito on. Maybe that's the carrot you dangle.
Yeah.
I'll make you an appointment in the morning. You come in at 8 o'clock. We'll get you wrapped up, and then I'm gonna prescribe a burrito afterwards.
There you go.
I like it. Excellent. Well, thank you as always, Rocky. I appreciate it. I'm sure you got a bunch of patients waiting on you, so probably should get you back to work here. But again, if anybody has any questions about anything we talked about here, Loveless.com, you can go there or call his office direct, 575-625-3372.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And it wasn't so bad, was it?
No, that was good.
Good deal. It's not as bad as, never mind. It's not like a colonoscopy or nothing. Although I've had a bunch of those lately. They're not so bad either. So, but thank you. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right. It is 9:49. We're going to pause for local news and also your Chavis County sports update and a quick break. Don't go away.
Now for a Pecos Valley News update. I'm Jared Sorello. The New Mexico Tourism Department will present in Roswell on May 3rd from 1 to 2 p.m. at the Roswell Convention and Civic Center. Representatives from New Mexico Magazine and the Tourism Department's Marketing, Communications, Tourism Development, and Research teams will all be on hand to help you dive into the benefits and details of the department's programs and how you can participate in a way that works for you. A question and answer session will follow the presentation. A science teacher in Loving has been recognized with a prestigious national award. Tyler Finch received the Millikan Award and a $25,000 check for his innovation and creativity in motivating his students. And officials with the U.S. agency undergoing a multi-billion-dollar modernization effort that includes the production of plutonium cores for the nation's nuclear arsenal celebrated the opening of a massive office complex in New Mexico on Tuesday. Jill Ruby, the head of the National Nuclear Security Administration, joined officials and members of the state's congressional delegation for a ribbon-cutting ceremony. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
The truth and nothing but. This is the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
Your parents' Democratic Party is dead. I mean, think about it. The Democrats of old, you used to have more conservative Democrats that, more like Joe Manchin, and I don't agree with Joe Manchin on everything, but, West Virginia voters, they're America First people, salt of the earth people. Get up every day, work hard, play by the rules, pay their taxes, obey the laws, and they're getting screwed. Because if you look at Bloomberg and the Bidenflation index, misery index that they are calculating, Biden's inflation is costing the average household $5,200 a year. It's bad.
Keeping you on the straight path. Later today, it's the Sean Hannity Show.
Are you a real estate investor looking to refinance one or more of your properties? Most lenders only work with cookie-cutter W-2 borrowers. At Cash Call Mortgage, we have loans designed specifically for investment properties. We qualify customers based on the cash flow from the investment property. Borrowers can get up to $2.5 million. That's right, $2.5 million. No tax returns or employment verification needed for our investment property loans, and absolutely no lender or broker fees. If you're a real estate investor looking to refinance a mortgage on one or more of your investment investment properties? Give Cash Call Mortgage a try. To see if you qualify, visit cashcallmortgage.com or call now 800-940-0226. That's 800-940-0226. 800-940-0226.
Cash Call Mortgage is a DBA of Impact Mortgage Corp. NMLS ID 128231. Not all applicants will qualify. Equal housing lender. Licensed by California Department of Financial Protection and Innovation. Residential Mortgage Lending Act license number 4131083. Not licensed in all states including New York. Call 855-657-9910 for licensing terms and restrictions. Or visit cashcallmortgage.com.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Gusty winds, sunshine, and very warm temperatures today will end up in the low to mid 90s by this afternoon. Overnight, low 50s and clear, and then we're looking at low to mid 90s again on Thursday with sunshine, a little bit breezy in the afternoon. Friday, mostly sunny and getting very gusty, wind at about 40 miles an hour, mid 90s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
It's time for the Chavez County Sports Report. Well, we were under the impression that Roswell had moved its softball games against Clovis yesterday to another date, but we have a score, and we're going to run with it. Roswell, we don't have scores for two games. We have one score, and that was Roswell thumping Clovis 18-3. Yadira Aragon, freshman, had a homer and 3 RBIs for the Coyotes. She wasn't the only one with 3 RBIs on the day. Talissa Espinosa, a senior for Roswell, and Emily Esquivel, they all had 3 RBIs as well. And Roswell will be playing against Hobbs Friday at 5 o'clock at home doubleheader for the Coyotes. Meanwhile, Goddard loses a couple of tough games to Lovington yesterday, 8-6 and 7-5. Goddard at Artesia Saturday for a doubleheader starting at 11. Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. Shares of Netflix have tumbled, losing more than a quarter of their value in off-hours trading following a surprising drop in subscribers in the first quarter. The streaming service shed 200,000 customers January through March. It has Netflix considering some changes, like minimizing password sharing, creating a lower-cost subscription supported by ads. The Justice Department isn't closing the door on an appeal of a judge's ruling striking down mask mandates on public transport. Justice says it will appeal if the CDC decides that mask mandates are still necessary. Wall Street opened higher this morning in what is a busy week for corporate earnings reports. The latest round of earnings comes as investors try to gauge how companies and consumers are coping with rising inflation that has made everything more expensive. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
If your car breaks down, no need to cry, because there's always a pal nearby at Big O. At Big O Tires. Locally owned will get you in gear. That's because you've known us for years at Big O. Big O Tires. Don't need to sweat any extra labor. You can always trust a good neighbor at Big O. At Big O Tires. The best service is part of our code. Need a cup of sugar? We're down the road at Big O. At Big O Tires.
Now through April 24th, buy 3, get 1 free on Mesa AP3, Mesa HT, Cooper Endeavor, and Cooper Endeavor Plus brand tires. Big O Tires, the team you trust. Installation charges extra. Required on all 4 tires. Disposal fees extra and up to 10% shop fee based on non-discounted regular retail price, not to exceed $35 where permitted. Eligibility may vary. Not valid with other offers. At participating locations, no cash value. Some stores in Missouri, Minnesota, and Kansas are company owned.
Crack the vault and save this month at Roswell Honda. For 6 amazing days, prices slashed across the lot to save you thousands. Plus, get a 12-pack of soda and a trip to Mexico just for stopping by, a $15 gas gift card with a test drive, and a car detailing kit with purchase. And crack the vault for the chance to win cash. Then join Roswell Honda April 23rd from 10 to 1 for free food and drinks and your chance to win big. Vault in and win. April 18th through the 23rd at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
For people suffering with joint pain, simple movement feels like just taking a step feels like, and lifting your arm can feel like Don't let joint pain be in charge of your life. The skilled orthopedic experts at Loveless Medical Group SCORE are helping more people take back their lives with some of the most advanced surgeries in the region. We're doing more than restoring joints, we're restoring lives. Call Loveless Medical Group SCORE today at 575-625-3300 so life can feel like,
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. 1 in 3 snake bite victims is drunk. 1 in 5 is tattooed. Hold my beer and check this out. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 9:57. Oh, I got to scooch up.
You did that so seamlessly.
Thank you.
That was impressive. He just walks in and good morning. I'm like, wow.
We were having a whole conversation about Charlie Sheen in the other room, and then I just kind of went in and did it. It's
like not even the panic mode of, I got to go back on the air. It was, the timing was flawless.
Well, in all fairness, while y'all were talking, I was listening and talking, but I was also putting an ear on my my commercial breaks. I knew I was having to head back this way, but I do this all the time. That's why it's
I do
it's
this
not
for
nervous.
a living, Sean.
Well, it's just not the radio yet, but that specifically. I don't know how, and you know this, how many times I have conversations about, and then right up until I hit the mic button, and then it's time to talk about whatever it's on the radio.
Then it's business.
I literally do that almost every day. So,
but that was like, I've seen you do it, but that was a level of like, I'm impressed.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I was going to say we're working on that, but I haven't.
Just two dudes sitting in a room complimenting each other. It's Mornings with Mike Winters.
What we do. We're about to wrap it up. We're almost done here. I do want to thank everyone for listening. I cannot thank you guys enough for tuning in each and every morning. I really do appreciate that.
Indeed.
If you missed any part of the show, we had a full slate today. We had John from Oasis Computers in the 7 o'clock hour. Last hour in the 8 o'clock hour, Andrew Moore with the Roswell Chamber join us. And, of course, this hour we had Rocky Rodriguez, occupational therapist there with Loveless. If you missed any parts of those interviews, you can go back and check them out at your leisure, ksvptv.com, and the Mornings with Mike Winters channel there. Roy will separate the interviews from the main broadcast here in just a little bit. So give him about 45 minutes or so to do that. He'll take care of that. And then, of course, anything we've done for about last, 4 years now? It's all buried in there, too, somewhere.
Lots of our face. Lots of our weird mugs.
I would like to say around August of 2015 is when we went video. We started the show in April of 2015, but I think it went online with video in August. That's when we had all the equipment on board. So since that point, so.
Catch up.
What's that, Roy?
I like this. I like closing off the show this way.
Yeah, it's casual.
It's nice.
Well, now we got to really close it. So have a wonderful day.
Happy holiday, everybody.